ladies and gentlemen. Oh, God. Do you believe I used to do this stuff? In some semi-professional fashion. You wouldn't believe it. But there's the microphone, gang. We now have sound. Welcome back to Game Therapy. The only thing you missed, other than me singing a silly song while I was trying to kill this dragon over here, was Welcome to Game Therapy. I'm Brian. Purpose of this show is to give warrior-minded artists and entrepreneurs a place to hang out and to heal from the wounds of the world. And I was just talking about how today I got to spend a couple hours with one of my brothers, who is also one of my business partners, and a guy who I've actually been in the trenches with in life, and just how healing it was to spend time. He said something to me today. He's like, I really lament watching you go through the world and watching you feel that you have to adapt yourself into this person that's more acceptable. And I said, well, it's not for me though. Like, I don't feel that pain because of some narcissism that I want people to like me. I feel the pain because I see what humanity is up to, and it is very disappointing. And I want, and you can, this is no jokes. I know I do a lot of jokes and silliness on the show, but this is me being serious for 5 seconds. I want everyone to win. And we live on a planet that's big enough and abundant enough for that to happen. Especially given the way, the different diverse ways people define winning. I want everybody to have an opportunity to win. And by win, I mean however you determine your fulfilled life, which leads to the happiness and the feelings of success that everybody's chasing, which is why they never get them, because they don't understand fulfillment is the key that unlocks happiness and the key that unlocks, right, that joy and that sense of purpose and feeling successful. And so it's like I want everyone to be pushing toward that, and the humans I run into a lot of fascinating, wonderful people, and I run into a lot of people who scare me about, like, hey man, we ain't that far removed from the ape shit. We still doing some of it. We gotta tighten up. So it was just nice to have the heart and the ear of a friend who also fights to give people in the world a fighting chance at success and fulfillment, sense of purpose and happiness. We give a shit about y'all. As crazy as it sounds to me, the person in the world who's as narcissistic and egotistical as I am, but also gives a fuck about you even though I've never met you. I do. I don't want you to fucking suffer, because I've suffered. That shit sucks. And if there's any humanity in me, if there's any semblance of a decent person, and I know what suffering is, and I know how I got into it, and I know how I got out of it, if I can use that knowledge to help you avoid it altogether, welcome to Game Therapy. That is what I will spend time doing. And that's what I spend a lot of time doing. Anyway, welcome. We're glad you're here. And now we've got some killing to do. So if you'll bear with us while we get our requisite killing done, we're going to have us a grand ole opry. Now, if you're wondering what I'm sipping on, my wife has gone on a sun-up to sundown juice fast where she's only taking in these super healthy, nutrient-enriched juices that she made by hand, basically, until the final meal of the day, basically dinner, to cleanse and to kind of jumpstart the system. So I said, okay, if you're going to do it, solidarity, we go together. I said, you are my ride partner. And I don't say ride or die because we ain't dying. We multiply. You my ride or multiply partner. That's what I'm talking about. Ride and make babies. I'm talking about dying. But that's her. Like, if you're going to juice, I'm going to suffer in juice. And it's not suffering for me because I fast most of the day, most days anyway. And I like the juice. I'm not, I'm super picky with food if I'm wanting to taste something that's amazing. But I am not super picky with what I eat for nutrition in terms of flavors and stuff. I don't care. Like, but these juices taste fine to me. I'm sure you couldn't sell it at a vending machine at a you know, amusement park. Kids probably wouldn't like it that much, but it's fine to me. But anyway, that's, if you're wondering, I'm not sipping on my normal tea today. If I'm not sipping on my normal tea, it's because, one, I didn't make any tea. Or I had tea with my lunch with my brother / business partner. But because we're sipping on juice. Alright, let's get down to the quest here. Let me let my team know I'm streaming. Because YouTube sucks at notifications, but that's okay.
Probability of survival critical.
My crew notifies our audience better than YouTube does. So I'm just going to hit up my team real quick. Alright. My team now knows we're streaming. They will go and get the rest of our audience and bring them here. Because I'm looking at the numbers. I'm like, yeah, YouTube clearly didn't tell anybody we were streaming. We usually have about 20 people here by now. That's okay. We will soon. My team will take care of it. Because almost at least 30% of our audience tells me with regularity, hey, man, I never got the notification that you were live. Like, hey, I know. Welcome to YouTube. They're trying to turn into Netflix. Do you think they really want to waste a notification on my dumbass show? No. They're trying to get you to watch the shit that gets you to pay the money. And I don't run ads on my shit, so I'm not, like, I'm actually costing YouTube more money than they're making from me, probably. So they're like, fuck that guy. But don't worry, that'll change soon. That'll change soon, where they're going to be, Brian, can we meet with you the same way Facebook did, and TikTok wanted to meet, and Facebook wanted to meet, and then they realized they all hated me, which is fine. That's the appropriate emotion to a person who has zero patience for bullshit and pleasantries. Story time, y'all. Oh, snap. I know I'll have an autosave, so I'm not completely boned if I do this wrong, but I might have done this wrong. Oh, and I'm not supposed to be on screen right now. Alyssa, what's up? Ha! I don't think he wants to talk. I think he's ready for killing. Yep, I think he's pretty much ready for killing. And I don't think he's talking much at all. I think he's pretty much just killing. I think he pretty much just wants to kill, baby. I don't think he wants to do a whole lot of chit-chatting. I think he's got killing on his mind. Come on, where you at, baby? I remember this fight being pretty difficult. Oh, that's a bomb! That's a bomb, ho! Run! It's like it brings Elex and mana back to the thing there, and you gotta kill it. Oh, shit! Don't let him kill you, B! When you know you got killing to do. Well, well, well. Oh, shit on the donkey's mouth. I ain't tripping. Trying not to die. I'll be back on camera in a second, gang. I'm trying not to die. I forgot this thing pretty much just throws you right into the fray. Alright, glasses on. Kick ass. Alright, pause. Oh no, I let the grenade hit me. I gotta get on camera though. They can't let the audience not have this one. Alright, here we are. Alright, that didn't hurt too bad, I reckon. Got him! Hell yeah. Who else wants some? Oh shit, he still wants some. He ready. You ready to kill, too? Oh, shit, my gun stopped working. Gotta switch it out. Glitching ass game. Make your games better, Piranha Bytes! You hoe assholes! Can't shoot grenades up here, ho! Yeah, give me that level of ho! I want my gun! Alyssa said, the shit you say sometimes. It ain't the shit I'm saying. I have nothing to do with what goes on in this show. That is my muse. I don't even know what I'm saying. No idea. I can't be more serious about that. I never know what's going to come out of my mouth. I'm the type of showrunner that made the people invent, like, I don't know if you're ever called into or worked on a radio show or called into one, but there is a time delay. So obviously what you're listening to on the radio or watching on TV is happening. What you are seeing is the past. They are ahead of you, right? Same thing on a stream. The stream's always a little bit ahead of where I actually am. But I am the guy, I am the type of person, not me personally, but my personality that just thinks people's sensitivities oftentimes are silly, mine included. I'm the guy they built the filter for. Like, dude, some people are just offended, B. Can you? No! I'm gonna say my shit. Now, if I'm in their house, yes, and there's a list of words you're not allowed to say because they're dumb and focus on dumb shit like that, that's their business. I will say all the words that are only allowed to be said in their home. But yeah, I'm the cat that they were like, hey man, we gotta have a way, because he's gonna say something that we gotta bleep, because we're gonna lose advertisers. Why are we gonna lose advertisers? Because they only like to sell to the type of stupid people who think these companies actually give a fuck about them. Oh, okay. So the companies pretend to give a fuck about people by like canceling folks, or we'll never do business with them again, but they totally would if enough money changed hands. Yeah, that. Like, oh, okay, cool.
There's nothing here.
Nothing here. Why did you let me select it then? But yeah, listen, I have I have no idea what I'm talking about when I'm doing these shows. I've played stuff back like, damn, I said that? Wow. That was a new low. And I think I'm competing with myself to find out what is the worst thing a human could possibly say. Not like I mean it. It's all sarcasm and stupidity. But just what's the worst thing? Because I'll tell you, I will not repeat on air what my brother / business partner said to me today that almost made me vomit from laughter. I will tell you this. He was making fun of me. I will tell you that the situation involved death. And I will say nothing else. But he's the only other person in the world I can think of in there's maybe 2 other people. No, because my brother would too. My actual blood brother would totally have said the same shit. Like, there's 4 people on the planet, only 4 who would have said that shit. And I almost vomited all over myself. Because he shat all over me, but in a way that was just so hilarious you couldn't help but laugh. Like, that's me. I don't get offended at shit. So, I don't know. I think what's the worst thing a human could say and watch all the other apes get angry? Ah, he said a word. That means he's on a list because people that say that word are this. Because we still believe in witch hunts because we don't read books. We watch Netflix and beat off all day. Oh, okay. I think I'm going to start watching Netflix and beating off all day. That sounds like fun. Let's do it. Maybe that's the business I need to start. Instead of Netflix and chill, just Netflix and beating. We'll call the business Beating to Netflix. And that would just be what I do. Well, I guess I can't live stream it. But I can OnlyFans it. Shit, I can do that on OnlyFans. Hell yeah. That's going to be my OnlyFans. Beating to Netflix. I got to check with my wife first. And I've got some people I need to follow up with today because I have some scheduled meetings that I need to do with folks. And in fact, I'm going to take a break and go take care of that right now. That's what I'm going to do. I knew there was something else I was supposed to do today. And you get so busy that sometimes you miss some things. But I am not going to miss this. I'm going to take every advantage to make this happen. And in fact, instead of making you guys sit here and watch me write text messages, why don't I let you... Oh, by the way, this is a perfect time to segue into this, because it's mostly just our core friends here right now. Yeah, it's Nick and Alyssa. So, where is it? Boom. That, I guess I can leave my camera on, because you guys can see the number right. I guess you can't see join the book club. But I can always move me. Look at that. Blam! Just move it right out of the way. I was talking to Miko today. I've basically been in meetings all day. One with my brother / business partner, and then had a meeting with my COO. Then I had a meeting with my CEO. Forgot about I had more meetings than I thought. And why did I bring that up? Oh, and Miko and so we're talking, and then Miko had the idea during our conversation, and she was like, "Hey, are you building some type of contest into what you're doing with the 52 book challenge?" And I was like, oh, genius. So what I'm trying to figure out right now, let's see. What I'm trying to figure out right now is how do we do the competition? Because basically the way the challenge works is everybody gets the book, reads the book, and then within that week, summarizes their most profound, their number one profound takeaway from the book. That's the challenge, right? And so I'm thinking what we do is at the end of 52 weeks, aka at the end of the year, we're starting this basically in October, or we started it in October. So in October next year, I'm thinking about having like, for a person who completes the entire challenge, does all 52, and then that's the first criteria to qualify for the competition, is you make the 52 book challenge. Then going through and reading everybody's comments, and then having either me or a small group of my team voting on overall who had the best kind of, to us, revelations from the books. Now, not subjectively like, oh, I like this person's opinion better, but in terms of the takeaway being profound and helpful to them or to others. And in fact, let's make it to others. Let's make it so that it's not just something personal, that what's helping you is also helping others. And then like saying, hey, at the end of a year, whoever we think was the best, we'll give $500 or something like that. I was trying to figure out like what, do I have to give away $6 million to get lazy ass fucking Americans to participate in something that's going to goddamn benefit them? Oh, this world we live in. If I was giving out Disney tickets, motherfuckers be lining up. But anyway, Miko's like, why don't you make a competition? I was like, yeah, I never think about shit like that. Glad I have people like you around. So anyway, while I'm doing this thing I needed to do, there's how you join the book club. Hop on in there. Let's see. Nick says, hey everyone, what's with the shades, B? What's not with the shades, Nick? Go back and watch. Here, the answer to your question is go back and watch the other video. Go back and watch the last video I did without shades. Then go back and watch the two videos now I've done with shades. And then ask yourself, do you still have a question? My son came in here and he's like, Dad, why do you have on shades? And I just hit play. He was like, oh. Actually, he didn't say, oh. He fell on the floor laughing. He's like, Dad, this is the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. I said, I know, your dad's the funniest man alive. Just nobody knows it. Why is Pistachio throwing himself in front of a train? What is a mantle friends? Mantle friends 2? I don't know what that means, man. Y'all are too smart for me. Dane Shaw says, games on sale. Games on sale. Should I get? Dane, are you trying to ask a question and your keyboard's fucking up? Or are you lazy too much to type out the whole sentence? The answer to your question, Dane, is we have no idea what games you should be buying on sale because we know nothing about you. What was the last game you played that you liked? I'm happy to have this conversation with you. That's what the show is about. It's conversations. You said core friends. Ah! Good. See, that's one of the times where you got to give me the context because I can't get the joke because you're responding 2 minutes after I said it. All right, so that one is taken care of. Was there anybody else that needed an immediate response from me? Because that one definitely did. Thank you, Jolly. I just saw the notification from Discord, sir. I told y'all, as soon as my team got the word, it was going to be a freaking Grand Ole Opry. That's my team. You cannot have any of them. Not that I have them. I don't own anybody. But I do have the responsibility for helping to make their lives better. So that's why I say my. I had some people take issue with me. Why do you call your soldiers my soldiers? You don't own them. I was like, no. My lady, you're 1,000% right. I'm glad you brought it up. I don't own them. I said, in fact, if anything, they own me. I said, because it's my responsibility as their leader and commander to make sure that they have everything they need to succeed, not just at their goddamn job, but at their entire fucking life. And that is a responsibility that I take very goddamn seriously. So you were right, they are my soldiers. Not because I own them, I own the fucking privilege to make their life better. Good day to you. Did that sound angry? Damn, I'm a good actor. I should have got an Academy Award for that shit. Because I've actually gotten people to come back on something like, B is so angry. He's just good at acting. I have children. I have to pretend to be mad all the fucking time. Because they don't do the right shit. And so they need to be terrified. It's like they're not going to change unless they think I can eat and kill them and cook them. Like, get in there and fix yourself. Hey, Crone. These motherfuckers ain't dying, Crone. Hey, Crone. Crone! Where your dumbass at? Where is Crone's at? Every time I get into a cutscene, Crone's ass leave me hanging. Come on, Crone. This ain't a... Damn, they still chase. I don't remember fighting anything that I can't do damage to. Damn. And where's Crone's dumb ass at? Did he get killed in that fight? I pray he didn't get killed. Let me just transport real quick and see if he comes back. Waka waka. Yeah, so it's funny that conversation was one of the first light bulb came on. Like, oh, people who've never had any dealings with the military really have a different way of seeing the world. Like, they have a very entitled, like, I'm going to be offended because something you're going to say is supposed to offend me type. Like, why in the fuck do you think I would say my people to mean I own them? What goddamn human trafficking system do you come from that you call a family that you just immediately hear somebody say, yeah, my soldiers, that I'm like trying to own them? Like, that's some deep psychosis to even jump to that conclusion. It's like, damn. And that was kind of one of my first, or not first, one of my many kind of like evidence that, oh, people that are regulars on social media are not often mentally well or emotionally well. Like mental and emotional health issues on social media. So not that I'm saying anything that's incredibly profound. It's high. Like, I remember telling my therapist one time, we were having a discussion just about things I was seeing in the world and observing people I'm helping. I said, boss, you know, I don't know what the statistical numbers are of people with, you know, measurable psychosis in the world, like needing help. Maybe not, they need to be committed to an asylum, but having a hard time. I said, boss lady, it's got to be somewhere near 70. And I know that's probably not what's on the report, but I'm talking to 2 million people a week. Most of them are not talking back, so I can only judge the whole based on the microcosm of those who are inclined to respond. So let's talk about the psychology of someone who is likely to respond in comments and do it with some regularity. That person, in my observation, is more narcissistic than the average bear. They're also a little bit more intelligent. Like, if I measured their IQ, it's a little higher. People, they have sometimes a little bit more self-confidence, but not a lot of love for self, if you can separate those two things. And so, but psychosis, like severe, this person has been through a trauma and they're not okay. I run into that, like, oh, a lot of people out, because, you know, you go in your everyday life, people are kind of holding it together, even if they're not okay when you run into them. Rarely do you run into a person who's just like fumbling all over themselves and not okay in the real world, because they're masking. But on social media, that mask comes off because social media is Disney World. Here I get to be uninhibited and playful and childlike, which is why I fucking hate social media. It's a goddamn playground. I hate kid shit. I don't like Disney. I don't like fucking cartoons. It's not my world, right? I like gangster shit, I guess, or video games, I guess, or kid shit. So maybe that's my version of being a kid. But like that person who's inclined to leave the comment, oftentimes. So most people are not responding. So I can only judge the ones who I said, but boss lady, the ones who are responding, a lot of people are having a rough go at life out here. Because, woo, the shit they're saying to me, it just betrays, like, was that, like the last video I did on TikTok, it just stopped me in my tracks when I started seeing the responses. Like, these people completely misunderstood what I was talking about. Like, they actually thought I had a debate with my therapist where I was I was like, now, admittedly, I could have communicated it better. I could have said what I was trying to communicate better. I'm not great on camera. But, like, you know, maybe give somebody half of a benefit of the doubt. That I'm not, if I've been at what I've been at for this many years, I might have some of the shit you're trying to armchair goddamn counsel me on in the comments. I don't know. People are weird. I guess that's the end of this rant. No, I didn't want to switch back to the game because I wanted you mofos to get in the book challenge. Damn it, the books are more important than this game. No, thank you. I appreciate the heads up. That's me trying to cover for being unprofessional. I'm blaming it on you. You know all those politically correct people on the internet. Yeah, they're not okay. Like, people that have to scream at you on the internet that a thing you think is wrong, that person is not okay. Which is why I tell all of you who I'm, mentoring, coaching, put whatever words you want on it, who are doing art or media shit, is like, you better stay out of your comment section because that shit is the Matrix. Ain't nobody in there okay. So stay out. Like, yeah, you're going to get comments from great people too. It's going to be rare, but you get them. I got a video response from a guy last week. I was like, holy shit. I thought TikTok stopped letting people like this on here. That dude's IQ was too high. What the fuck is going on? Let me stop. People's IQs are fine. See, I weave in and out of seriousness and jokes. I want to be clear that I'm joking. If anybody's stupid, it's me. Jolly says, you liked Mulan, though. Yeah, but I explained why I like Mulan. Do you remember? You remember the story? There's a reason why Mulan and Shrek get... Like, I don't like cartoons, but I watch Mulan and Shrek. Let's see if they got their game therapy trivia hat on. Nick says, but I'm in... Nick, it was a joke, man. You're good, brother. You are good to go. Now let's save before I get into this conversation because I got ass to kick and I don't know if I'm going to have to kill this guy. Eddie Murphy, you got it. Yeah, Eddie Murphy is why I like Mulan. If Eddie Murphy hadn't been in that movie, my wife would not have convinced me to watch it. Or, no. I guess I saw Mulan years before I was married. Didn't that come out in the 90s? I know I watched it with her after I was married. Yeah, no, I think that came out when I was younger. But yeah, I think the first time I saw it, it was like at a church hangout where you have to do non-sexual, non-alcoholic things because you're going to hell for breathing in the wrong direction. I went to one of those churches. And I think maybe that's where I saw Mulan the first time. Was at a don't have sex, let's watch movies club. That's not what the club was at all. I'm joking around. It was actually a really awesome group of people who shaped my life in very powerful ways. But that may be where I saw it the first time. But yeah, totally. If Eddie Murphy hadn't been in that movie, ain't no way I'm still talking about it 20 years later, however long ago that shit came out. Alyssa says Mulan is a badass with a comedian. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, you're right. Like I like Mulan's character. I got a thing for badass ladies in stories, man. There's something there. Because my wife is a badass, and obviously we're married. There's something about a badass woman who can kick somebody's ass that's just, I want that lady around me. Not like sexual or romantic. I just mean I want her energy in, because I don't meet a lot of ladies like that. And when I do, I know within 30 seconds of them talking. Like, I met a lady volunteering at my son's school. 30 seconds of the conversation, I said to her, "Oh, you're a warrior." She's like, "What do you mean by that?" I was like, yeah, come on, bro. Ain't nobody talking about the shit you talking about that ain't getting after shit. But yeah, I like Mulan's character a lot. And I even went back and watched the live action movie a couple weeks ago and really liked it. I was like, I kind of prejudged this movie a little bit. And admittedly, the first time I saw it, it was a party that I had thrown for the neighborhood. And we were all watching it on this big screen that I had put together. And we set up the thing on the lawn and all the neighbors came. We had food. So I was in and out hosting and talking to my brother on the phone and shit like that. So I didn't see the whole movie. And the parts I saw, I think, were kind of bad. But I watched the whole thing with my wife. It was great. I loved Mulan's character. Very nice. I love Samus from Metroid. Even though she's not, in the games I play, she's not a vocal character. But the fact that she goes through the absolute god-awful fucking struggle that she's basically in a horror movie. She's in the movie Aliens. And she's got to survive that shit. And it's you playing as her. And you don't even know it's a woman till the end of the game where it's like, holy shit, this whole time I've been playing as a woman. That's cool as shit. I just saw Black Widow with Scarlett Johansson, and forgive me, lady. It's the second time I'd ever seen you. My wife was watching Little Women. You were in that, and you were amazing. You're also amazing, and fuck that. I'm not doing that to her. I refuse. When I respect somebody's ability in art, I want to do that shit. I'm going to get your name right, lady. Not going to fuck that up on this show. I'm going to show her the proper respect. Okay, so is it her? Okay, so Florence Pugh, and I'm assuming you pronounce it Pugh, because going back to one of my soldiers' last name is the same as yours, and he pronounced it Pugh. So I'm assuming that your name, milady, is like she's watching. Her name is Florence Pugh, right? She was fucking awesome in Black Widow. I mean, the acting. Like, she kicked ass and fought, but her acting was murderously good. I, like, blown away. I was like, holy shit, this lady... And I asked Miko, where does this lady come from, dude? She is a monster. So yeah, badass ladies, man. There's something in there. Because Black Widow was great. I love Metroid as a woman. Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn was the best character, hands effing down, of last generation's video game characters. 2B was also a great female, even though she's technically an android, not human, but she's in a female's likeness. Her coldness, but then giving way to actual humanity at the end of the story was... So yeah, there's something about seeing badass ladies kick ass. And maybe this is it. I come from a family of badass ladies, and that's just what I'm used to. Is women who aren't this kind of stereotypical, what I hear feminists like, the docile, keep her in the kitchen. I was like, it wasn't no goddamn kitchen when I was growing up unless I was in that shit. Like, mom was, fuck you, you go make a meal, you dumb bitch. Like, all right, let me go make something. Shit. Now, my mother never said those words to me. If she's, well, I never said that. Like, I know, mom, it's jokes to illustrate the point. Because she'll do that. She'll be like, I saw your show. I never said that to you. I know. I'm trying to humorously illustrate something that happened that the conversation never did, because it's not funny without the conversation. Anyway, yeah, like the women in my life will kick you in your fucking throat. And so maybe that's why I like badass ladies, man. I never understood, man, they intimidated by us. I'm not. I love having a woman that can kick my ass. My wife is one of them. Hell yeah. More the merrier. Let's get it. Seriously, I got in a playful wrestling match with my wife early in our marriage. We had a dog at the time. The dog went after her. That's all I'm going to say about that. And I had to tell her at one point, hey, babe, this was planned. We planned. Babe, we planned. I had to say that. Now, did I use all of my strength? No. But damn. That chick can brawl. All right, let's get it.
Big
I've
Bang
rambled enough.
is at its target.
What the fuck are you talking about? If it was at its target, then the Cleric stronghold would have been erased, annihilated. And we're still receiving communication signals coming from the Horde. Does that sound like it's been annihilated?
Conrad had different plans for Big Bang.
What are you talking about?
He built Big Bang to destroy Tavar.
You're saying that shithead betrayed me. I wanted
Yeah, you're an idiot. He was betraying you in your basement.
He's already wrong.
That's what I'm saying.
Then find him, kill him, and you will be well rewarded.
I ain't killing him. He's got a
How about
nuclear
you
bomb.
pay in advance?
I'm helping his
You'll
ass
get
to
paid
kill
once
him.
he's dead.
Shit, I want the
Now get
bomb.
after him. Those
Take the bomb to
fucking
Junetown.
I should have known.
I'm gonna take the bomb to Junetown.
Wow, the Force
just don't
will
know
have
that
to
I'm
learn
Junetown.
it with saboteurs. There is profit in this yet, and I will find another way to get rid of those bastards in Ignadon.
That was a quote from Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop. I love a woman who can kick my ass. There you go. I agree with Spike. I forgot that he said that, and I haven't seen that show in 15 years probably. But yeah, I agree with Spike. I love a woman who can kick my ass. That shit is fucking awesome to be around. Is a woman who takes no fucking shorts from nobody. You know, and in the same breath can be tough, but can be kind and loving and nurturing, which my wife is the epitome of all of that. So she's like she's the perfect human. I'm sad you guys didn't get one like her. She is type amazing. Good evening, by the way, says Tristan. What up, Tristan? Suba says, just watch Free Guy. Surprisingly good. It's like Matrix and Tron had it. Oh, I need to watch that then. That's right up my alley. Matrix and Tron are numbers 2 and 3 on my favorite movies list of all time. How about that? Number 2 and 3 right next to each other. Cosrico says, how's the Euro action RPG playing? It's great, man. You know, I love to bitch about these games, but I also love Piranha Bytes, man. Something about these games keeps me coming back. Sadly, this is the least popular game with the live audience, but what I know about YouTube is that the European audience is often underserved, and most of my European RPG stuff is my most viewed gaming content on the internet. Marketing knowledge is fantastic. She says, I'm good. I'm enough. That's awesome. He said petty. Like, stop having all this happiness and fucking joy, motherfucker. We're all depressed. You better get like us. Like, no. Depression is a fucking disease. Believe me, I've had that shit. Fuck out of there. Woo! I guess technically I am still depressed about Earth. But fuck it, that's why I'm playing PlayStation. I'm extremely happy about my section of Earth. It's the rest of Earth that's sad. Ugh.
Why did you want to destroy the Horde?
The balance of power. With them gone, we'd control all of technology this
And
side
then
of
another
Draco.
entity would
not
exist
like
in the
those
vacuum to
Berserkers.
challenge you,
And
dude.
with
Do
the
you not
Clerics
read
gone,
any history or
Outlaws should
understand
take care
anything
of
about
Berserkers
fucking
before.
physics, which governs a lot of the shit
Conrad
and
would
bad
destroy
behaviors that
his
humans
own
have?
kind.
He's pretty damn convincing. I've not been
Stupid
caught
ass
up like
humans.
that for a long time.
Like, physics demands that you not do what you're about to pull off. You need, like, why do you think Microsoft invested in Apple? Competition keeps you alive. He says, nah, don't be depressed like me. I'm just trying to find a good woman to share my... I feel you, man. So, the solution is, man, you're already on the path, right? Your whole thing right now ain't got nothing to do with the lady. It's about making you, it's about taking time for you, right? And so what we're working on, when we have you where we know you want to be in terms of your career, you know, your love of self and your habitual behaviors of self, career and finances, trust me, the woman shit will be right there for you when you square away health and wealth first, then worry about relationships. That is the one thing all the young people I work with do backwards. It's like they want to get into a relationship. It's like, dude, you are still fucked up. You're going to bring that shit in there to her. Work on you for the next year and just be horny. Just, you know? So, and that comes from a guy who had people training this shit into me like a military person at a very young age. So I know from experience some of the stuff that I know the want, obviously, to have that romantic connection and energy. Just, it'll be there. If you focus on these other things, you'll get way more fulfilled and happy in the short term. And then the type of woman you want will be more attracted to you because you're a more attractive prospect. I'm going to have you read Evolutionary Psychology 2, the textbook, specifically the part on relationships, so you can understand how all that comes together from like a very biological level in terms of human. And I know this, you were totally joking, and I'm taking this as an opportunity to jump in and try to love on you. He says, I would have enjoyed that more had I known I was going to live through it. Yeah, it's funny. I was just praying yesterday. One of my prayers, if you guys can believe I pray. And I was saying, God, thanks for not making my walk easy for me. Thank you. And people are like, what? It's a crazy ass prayer. Nope. Because if I had gotten to where I am now without my struggle, I would be a worse person. Like, I'm already working on trying to be a good person. That's my life goal. Be good, right? I think that's a good life goal. Try to get a little better every day so you don't suck. Right? And that's, and I'm thinking of, I want to tie that to what you're saying specifically. Like, I thanked God for that struggle because I know I've been through enough struggles in life now that I'm older and lived through enough of my valleys to be like, oh, the fucking valleys are where I always get rich. It just doesn't feel like that when I'm in them. You know, like valleys I was in 10 years ago helped me deal with, you know, getting some investments squared away for some of my businesses this past week. If I didn't have those struggles from 10 years ago, I wouldn't have the knowledge of how to deal with how to manage humans, how to understand the psychology of the room so we can make sure we're saying the right things to communicate effect. Like, thank you. Right? And thank you for making it hard because going through the hardship makes you appreciate. To this day, and my wife laughs at me, Miko laughs all the time, I still thank God every day for clean toilets in my house. Because I remember the time I had to sneak away from my base camp to go take a shit. And this is graphic. If you guys don't like graphic stuff, you know, it's probably the wrong show for you. We don't have any filters here. But let's just, I'll try to keep it, I won't make it graphic. The bottom line is I had to go to the bathroom. And I had to go to a place that was unsafe. And the whole time I'm propped up against this building because there are no toilets. I'm thinking, damn, I really hope none of our enemies happen by here with weapons and shoot me in the middle of this. Talk about getting caught with your pants down, right? Literally. And that was a genuine fear in that moment. And then it went away. I didn't get shot. But then I came home and got to sit. I appreciate that toilet every time I sit on it because I think about that day I almost could have fucking died just trying to use the bathroom. Those experiences make you savor, like you're never going to appreciate the good of your life when it comes if you can't learn to be grateful in the parts that you think are the bad, but they're not the bad. They're actually just developing the discipline in you to get to where you're actually trying to go. Resistance is for you, not against you. Tension is made to make, so like if you look at a person like me who actually has like some semblance of a chest muscle thing here, that came from years of flexing this motherfucker to push hard shit. And so that tension is where the strength and the stuff comes from, man. So, yeah, I have started to savor the down portions of the things I get into because that's the part you look back on with so much joy. Like, remember when we was struggling and look at this shit we got now, man. Damn, it really makes you think. Like 10 years ago, I wasn't in a cabin at a lake with my wife. You know, I was trying to figure out how I'm going to pay for these kids. And I'm making a lot of money and still trying to figure out how I'm going to pay for kids, right? Yeah. But thank you. Thank you for the time I was on food stamps because I know what it's like to go without. I'm grateful. Like, I don't resent the time I was on fucking food stamps. Like, I didn't like being on this shit, but that shit'll teach you to appreciate when you're not on the motherfucker. Yeah. So.
Take care of Conrad yourself.
Get the job done. Or get the fuck out of Tavar before I have you flayed alive. Go get out and find him if you know what's good for you.
You had
Put
better
that
put
thing
that weapon
down.
away.
Now you get clever.
That's when I think I killed this dude. Fuck him. I think I murked that dude right after that. Now, what does he actually want me to do? Because I noticed I failed a quest there. The game doesn't do a great job of really distinguishing between these opposing quest lines. I hate that shit. Because you're making the player have to keep in their head or come to this menu and say, okay, I'm doing this quest. But do I want to do it for the Duke? Or do I want to do it for this guy? And I don't really have any ties to any of them because they're both idiots. And the game doesn't do a good job of emotionally connecting me to either character. So why am I making a choice that I have no fucking interest in? Other than stroking my ego and trying to release some dopamine so I'll review your game positively. Just tell me your fucking story. But I need to look up what did I actually just fail, because I don't even know. Yeah, and now the whole thing is gone from my main menu list. Oh, for crying out loud. This game is just it's something. Alright, let's go talk to big old Mad Bob, man. I thought we were going to get some cold decreases in there. We ain't get nothing. He says I got that down pat, near perfect. Oh, man. Don't worry. I mean, I can't speak for all men, but as you get older, like, your desire and enjoyment of sex does not diminish. But I will say, your obsession, if you were like me as a young person, the obsession of needing to create offspring 40 times a day does subside. It becomes more like the icing on a very delicious cake than some obsessive survival behavior you have to do every 15 minutes. So just enjoy the ride, man. And, you know, I had somebody teach me this when I was actually like 19. It was a married couple. They were teaching, you know, how to be married. It was one of the classes I was taking from them. And, you know, the husband actually said, one of the things that men don't get told enough, especially with, you know, Hollywood kind of drives our perception of relationships, and that's very bad because Hollywood sucks at them. I mean, you're living in a superficial place where no one's being real. How do you build a relationship in that shit where everybody's acting all the time, right? But he said, here's what men are never going to get told. And it always stuck with me. And then when I got married and noticed in my own life, oh, fuck, he was 1,000% right. How come more men don't get taught this? He says sex gets better with time, not worse. He's like, so you're going to hear all these about these men that end up cheating or going outside of the relationship because the sex got stale and they needed new. And he's like, what, in all those cases, and certainly there's going to be exceptions to the rule and people who are more polyamorous than others. But for the most part, what he was trying to get across was the joy of sex the joy of sex is positively correlated and directly proportional to the depth of intimacy. And the more you can be intimate with that human that you're next to, the more the sex can be like the sun will come out at night when you have true intimacy, right? And you can't build true intimacy in a shallow relationship that's just forming. Intimacy comes from common struggle, not spending time together and going to the goddamn movies, having a fucking bill you can't pay and having to figure out how to get through that together and cooperating instead of fighting and living on the other side of it with the scars. That's where intimacy comes from. And number one reasons why these marriages break up is because when the dragon comes, the couple fight each other instead of collaborating to fight the dragon. Because they were never trained as young people to not be more, they were never trained as young people to be less narcissistic, meaning the survival stable strategy is to worry about yourself a little bit less and take care of this person that you've committed to, because taking care of them is going to incentivize them to take care of you. Collaborate, don't fight. fight the dragon. You two figure out how to work together. The Bill's the dragon, not her. Right, and that's what fucks everybody up because they don't have the maturity to work through that emotional thing. So what I'm telling you young men is stop chasing women, because if you don't know what I just told you, you've got some fucking work to do before you're going to be happy in a relationship.
About these favors you want. Your scrap will be delivered soon.
Yo, scrap.
Better be.
You got to keep an eye on time because we're doing Tales of Arise. You know, for Alyssa tonight. Can't leave her hanging.
Anything else to tell me?
The scrap collectors have a problem with some clerics.
Clerics? If there's a problem with clerics, then how the fuck am I going to get my scrap?
Do you want me to figure it out?
I want to know if you're playing both sides. Me and the clerics. Split the scrap? Take the profits? Is that what you're trying to do? Play me?
Scrap is profit. Isn't that what you believe?
My profit. Any profit belongs to me, asshole. You tried to cheat me, and you want payment? No chance.
I did? What did I do to
These
try to cheat you?
clerics. Maybe I can find a way to use them to my advantage. You can tell them you fooled me and take their shards, but you can remember my generosity.
Wait, what?
That's sing. Okay. Just get this done. The instructions are simple.
Just tell.
I need a debt paying. It doesn't matter what else you do here in the fort. You have got to pay your debts. Otherwise, you're no one. So I need you to sort out what I owe. Ace. He always gets maybe too lucky. I lost big to him the other day, and I might forget he was lucky and get angry with a fast dealing.
How much do you owe him?
This IOU is worth 1,000 shards, and I'll add a little bonus to go with it. Just as a big, warm thank you
Oh
to
man,
Ace.
did Miko turn the heat on already? I know it's cooler outside, but I'm sweating.
Where does...
Near Chloe's bar. Look for...
I'll...
Take the... Don't fuck here. And of course, don't forget my little present for Ace.
Oh, this
Put them in
dude.
Ace's place, near the marketplace. Put them on the table, or somewhere obvious.
Man, this
Teach me
dude
something.
murdering. I remember
We'll
this.
be done.
All right, now I did just level up. So, still can't do radiation resistance, unfortunately. I mean, one of the things I probably would have changed about this game's leveling system is if I'm gonna go from you needing 1 to 2 to 5 points to level up, and it probably goes to 10 if I keep going. Like, you need to give me more attribute points. Like, you needed to balance it by saying, give me 20 attribute points instead of 10. Because then it just doesn't take me 90 hours, unless I want to cheat and level up using potions and fuck my character up. I could do that if I want to use the gun before the... Like, this game might actually be over if I just keep playing it this way. This game might actually be over before I can use the gun I want to use. Because this is the game. Yeah, but whatever. We're just going to put 2 more points here. That's all we can do. And once we level up 1 more time, we can actually use the gun we want to use. And look, we're almost halfway to leveling up after getting 4,000 XP. That's how my European RPGs go and cast. But the way I would have solved this is just, yo, like, give the dude more attribute points. Like, balance it. You just like, because this, honestly, and I shit on game designers for this all the time. Maybe I should shit on publishers because they're the ones who actually drive it. This, to me, stinks of you wanted me to play this game longer than its natural play. or you wanted the game to be harder for just the natural portion of the game, and I'm only supposed to be leveled up for like the bonus extra side quest. Which, who is the person who's doing extra side quests after you finish the story? Like, is that a thing? Y'all doing that? Get out of here. All right. Anyway, leveled up. Got our level on. Nope. Still can't use. I can't even upgrade the gun I have. Because the minute I upgrade it, I have to level up again to use it. And then I would have to level up again to use the new gun. So I'd have to level up twice to level up my weapon and use the new weapon I want to use. So it just makes sense. Don't ever level up your weapon. Just don't. Because you can't use it. And you'd rather use those level up points to use the gun that's better than the gun you're trying to level up. Like, that is the conundrum these designers have caused with this shit-tard fucking leveling system. Now, I understand, and because RPGs and RPG nerds always used to get on my case for this, and I'll say, okay, you're not wrong. Brian, you're not playing the game the right way, which my response to that is always, fuck you. Either tell me what the right way is, or let me play the game my way. Make that shit abundantly clear and don't make me have to jump through your hoops to figure it out, or fuck something up and reload a save because you couldn't make it intuitive enough. Right? Like, why not just leave it a little more open-ended and let the play? And I actually had a player come back to me when I talked about this with carry limits, and he said, look, dude, I hear your complaint. He's like, but I imagine more players are like me and less like you. And I said, well, what does that mean? He's like, I am undisciplined. I am going to abuse those systems if they're given to me. You strike me as the dude who wants a challenge to be a certain way, and knowing that you wouldn't abuse the system and just type in, now you're a level 200, you can kill everything. He's like, I'm the guy who will totally do that. So the designers are probably making the game for me because they know I need the governor. I'm not going to be disciplined and play fair. He's like, you probably would because you enjoy the exploration and the combat more than the playing a role. I was like, all right. I was like, do you really think people are... I said, I get people being undisciplined, but undisciplined in a video game? Like, if you like it being harder, you can't resist making it easier? I said, dude, that does... I get what you're saying. I can't disagree with you because nothing you're saying is inherently wrong to my ear, but I can't buy into it. Like, come on, dog. Like, you can't just do your shit and do your shit. Like, I gotta play a shitty ass game because you needed a babysitter. Like, all right, I get it. But I appreciated him even chiming in because what he said was really insightful. It made me think. I was like, damn, I never thought, because I'm only selfishly looking at this from the way I see the world. Like, if I couldn't stop myself from ruining the game, would I want there to be some type of thing in place to keep me from ruining my experience? I guess I would. I can empathize with that. I don't sympathize with it very much. If I made a video game, I would tell all of those people to kick rocks and develop some discipline. But that's my game. I can still empathize with it, though. Alyssa says, yep, that's what I'm dealing with right now. Superman isn't sharing what he's struggling with. I called him out on it. I'm a little nervous. He hasn't responded yet. Yes, please. Long day. This hangout is definitely helping the mood. So Superman's not sharing what he's struggling with. And you said you called him out on it. Okay. Let me ask you a question. You can obviously see he's struggling with something. Walk me through what you mean when you say you called him out on it. Because that specific language, one, doesn't sound much like you, even though you're very assertive and confident. Like, if I was interpreting that through the lens that I know that is Alyssa, I would say what you actually did was empathetically made him aware that you know he's struggling and that he's not being open and honest about it. Because when you say call out, it's almost like you, it almost seems antagonistic, and that doesn't seem like you. And now he may be either taking some time to respond, or maybe he just hadn't seen the message yet, or hadn't had time to respond, whatever the thing is. So I wonder if you see value in when you guys do whatever the response is when it happens, taking the conversation kind of down the road of, hey, I can tell you're struggling, and it's okay if you don't want to talk about it. Or if, like with Miko, one of the things I had to learn early in our marriage is that when she's struggling, she is not as intellectual as I am. And I don't mean intelligent. People take that the wrong way. she is not as obsessed, brain always trying to figure things out with ideas as I am, which that's one of the things that makes me a good speaker. I'm always fucking curious about ideas and getting them into my head. It's not that she's not intellectual. She's not hyper intellectual like I am. So for her, when she's struggling, sometimes she doesn't have the words to express it. She's just like, I'm struggling. I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's Thursday. Maybe it's because I'm a woman and I have these hormones. Maybe, I don't know. I said, okay, no. The why you're struggling is less important than just letting you know I can tell and just let you know, hey, I'm here. You need anything, I'm your guy. Right? So I wonder if it's maybe one of those situations where he's just not as able to articulate himself when pain strikes as maybe someone like a me who's very, very verbose and able to communicate things very clearly. Some people, that's harder for them. I know for Miko it is. And so with her, a lot of times I'll just say, hey, if she say I got a problem, I'll just lead with, hey, do you need me to just listen or do you want me to help you solve the problem? Which husband do you need? And she'll tell me like, hey, I need this actually is a problem solving thing. What do you do in this situation versus, no, just listen. Let me get it off my chest because I can figure it out on my own. I just need someone to, okay, ears on. I'll shut up. So maybe something along those lines. Kaz says, you wouldn't believe how many times I've seen someone review something saying it's too easy if you cheese the game in this specific way. So don't, yeah, Kaz, that's exactly what I'm saying. So don't cheese the game. But that guy kind of opened my eyes to maybe most gamers are just that undisciplined. I want the game to be hard, but unless they make the game hard for me, I'm never going to do it. And I guess like, because I've seen tons of examples of that in the real world where it makes sense. Like, Brian, I won't ever go to the gym unless you force me. Well, you're not going to the gym because I'm not anybody's fucking babysitter. If you want to come to the gym with me and be an adult because you want to get in shape and take care of your mind, body, and soul, come holler. I'll hang with you in the gym for 2 hours if that's what you like. But I'm not going to come chase you down to help your dumb ass. Like, that's how I see the world. And I'm thinking maybe he's like the people who don't work out. Like, if somebody forced them to work out, like if they were in the military, they would do it. Like, I've never needed someone to force me to do that shit because I see the benefits of it mathematically, and it's irrational for me not to do it. So that would torture me. I got to work out. So, I don't know. Like, if I wanted the game to be harder, like, there's games I've purposefully made harder. Like Mass Effect. I played that game on the hardest ass difficulty. I didn't get any more enjoyment out of it because it was hard. I played Outward. I don't think Outward has difficulty settings. It's just brutal. I love that game being hard, but if it had been easier... In fact, one of the kids who was watching the stream, real cool dude, taught me how to get one of the strongest weapons in the game, like within the first couple hours. He's like, just take that with you. He said, it's not the most powerful weapon in the game, but you won't get killed as much. Did it make the game easier? Yep. Did it make it easy? Nope. Still got that ass whooped plenty of times. But if you didn't want that weapon, then just don't go through the steps to get it. Like, you know, or let's say that weapon makes the game harder, right? And you wanted a harder game. And I still think, psychologically, I think this generation of people, probably going back to the 70s of, I like my video games super hard. I would love to see that person's life and what type of challenges they're taking on in their real life.
In South Tavar.
Like, what type of things...
Wired, man. I mean, super intense. Have you been racking up some...
Like, I would love to do a study of all these people you're talking about that love their games to be brutal and super hard. And then, like, show me your real life. What hard, super awesome challenges are you taking in your real life? Because I've talked to friends who say some of the, like, life wasn't really challenging for them, so they took to video games because that's where they found challenges that made them feel like they were accomplishing something. And that kind of scared me because I'm like, with all the opportunities in the world to do cool shit, how are people not motivated to try hard shit and fail at it? Like, go fail at something. It's awesome. You know? Like, I wonder if video games have become where people start to feel a sense of purpose. That would terrify me. Like, my purpose in life is to be really good at video games. Now, if I'm feeding my family with video games, yeah, go. If I'm PewDiePie, yeah, having video games be at the center of your purpose is probably a good idea. Even though I don't think he does much video games these days. But, yeah, Kaz, you could not have said that better. Like, this game's too easy because you can do this, and this. I'm like, well, then don't do that. And essentially what that other guy was telling me was, I'll never not do it. I'll always cheat. And I'm like, well, you just suck then. Like, and that's humanity. We got to keep, we're the only, what did Bill Burr say? We're the only species that saves the weak. Get him out of here.
You want to know my story?
Yeah, I do.
I don't.
Hey, I'm not... I could put a tab...
Oh, yeah?
I said I could, not... You're going to want to know about the game. It's the best way in Tavar to make profit. Though we'll have to wait until my brother gets here.
I'm not playing your game.
No? Are you sure? You could win some shards. You could win big. I mean, you... But...
The Scrap Baron wants to settle his gambling debts.
And they said not to play him. Now here comes the payday of them all. Opportunity, opportunity. You've got to take your chance. I hope you get your chance too, my friend. When you do, take it.
Well, brother, you about
He
to get
also
your...
sent you this casket.
A casket? What's in it?
I don't know.
Right. Right, well take it to my place, will you?
Oh, I
I'll
will.
wait till my brother gets back to open it. We share everything. This is a new start for both of us.
I couldn't have said it better
And to
myself,
think they
Ace.
told me not to play the Baron. They'll eat those words now.
Yeah, no, you gonna be the one eating words or shrapnel, but eat on.
Some of it, but what?
I don't care enough about your existence to listen to your dumbass story. Booloo. Oh God, they just like video games just want to talk your ass to death with uninteresting fucking talking. Like I have had 3 amazing conversations today with fantastic human beings. One of them was my brother / business partner, Tony. One of them was another business partner of mine, CEO of one of my companies. His name's Ryan. Y'all may have heard of him. He's kind of sexy. The other one was the operations chief of all my businesses, aka my wife. Fantastic conversations. Like, I'm surrounded by fantastic, interesting conversations all the time. And then I come to these video games and they want me to listen to just boring ass people talk about dumb shit. I'm like, man, a lot of y'all that play video games must not have a lot of interesting people in your life. If this is what qualifies as an interesting story, you got some boring ass people in your life. You need to go to a war or something. Go on an adventure. Live. Do something. Shit. Because this shit is not cutting it. All right, Alyssa said, oh. There we go. Get out of there. I want to read Alyssa's comment. Alyssa says, empathetically called him out. I'm concerned knowing his history. He doesn't have to talk about, but he needs to let me know something when he's in a place where I don't get what I need in a relationship. I don't need details, but I need a game plan. Okay, I got you. Yeah, that's why I was wondering if, like, just easing him off the launch pad with, hey, I get it, like you said. If it's hard for you to talk about this, I'm totally okay. And the other stuff, the other things that you're saying there, like how I'm not trying to pressure you or push you or make you tell me your whole life story or share anything that's uncomfortable with you. And as a result of you struggling, here are some other things that are happening. How can you work with me so that we can jointly square that away? Like, and just get his input. Like, here's what I need. Can you contribute and how? And then if not, okay, well then let's look for a compromise. I wouldn't be too anxious about him not responding to you. He may just be trying to really get his ideas together so that he doesn't let you down. If he's as awesome, and I have no reason to believe he's not, as you've told me he is, I would imagine that's his default setting. Is, well, if she wants answers, let me get her some answers kind of deal. Which is why I say, having the conversation like, hey, not pushing to get you to talk, but yo, which it sounds like you already did. So that's good. Jolly says, fuck that. Get him out of here. Gazrigo says, one of the more recent games I finished had a dearth of talking to its detriment, which was because it was from 1980 and they don't have room for it. Damn. Yeah, I just never understood. I mean, other than video games need, like, I think publishers kind of have a this game cannot be less than 20 hours type rule or whatever, otherwise we're going to lose all our money. And so designers are like, dude, this game is only 6 hours long. How do we stretch this shit? You can only make this dude run so many errands before he's going to be bored. Or lady or whatever. You know, or other. So yeah, I don't, other than wasting the player's time, I've never understood why games have to have this ongoing chitty chat bullshit that I guess if you like talking to people on the phone about nothing, you would enjoy that shit. It makes me want to shoot myself. Like, not kill myself, just like in the leg so I can go do something else. Like, just the hospital is better than listening to these people talk. I think I'm going to shoot myself real quick. All right, kids, don't shoot yourselves. It's dangerous. PSA. Boom, 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 boom. I still want to know what I said earlier that made Alyssa laugh. That still has me curious. Oh, wait a minute. Did I drop the Joan? Wait, I dropped it, didn't I? Yeah, that's the Joan. Well, brother, it's been good knowing you and your brother. Enjoy heaven, or wherever you heading. I hope it's pleasant. Because you're going out with a bang. Shit, that ain't even a pun. That's reality. You going out with a bang, bro. Peace. Scrap Baron, get down to naked. Game designers, don't make the player use stamina when in town. The fact that you have a stamina bar already shows that you couldn't balance your game because you're trying to make it harder by making you not able to run away from a fight. Or you're trying to add realism, which I've never met. I don't know very many human beings who have been commissioned to save the world who can't run more than 100 meters without stopping. So, maybe those stamina bars should be a little longer. Or maybe we should stop tying stamina bars to combat and actually make a mechanical combat system that's not a pain in the ass to play, Dark Souls, and two, doesn't require that you add gimmicks to add to the difficulty. Why not just make your combat systems like Outward? Simple, but actually hard. Oh, wait. I'm not here yet. No. Oh, yes, I am. Sorry. I kept thinking there was a second human, but it's not. It's one human, then pay dirt. All right, let's get a new save in here. I do not want to save over this in case I screwed something up.
I've completed that delivery for you.
Just in time. I just heard his brother is back. I hope he enjoys the surprise you left him.
What was in the casket I left?
Spade and his brother. They were always inseparable. It would be a crime not to bring them back together.
What was that?
That was the surprise. I bet Spade just jumped for joy.
There was a bomb in that casket?
That's a good point.
You did good
Super.
work. You're in danger of making me trust you.
Now, come on. This has got to reduce my cold when I do this one. Give me some.
You're a sick bastard.
Debt's
Thank
never
you!
paid. Take this. And
Yeah, like,
don't
the
forget
problem with
Phoenix
Piranha Bytes
either.
games is they struggle to, for me, they struggle to balance the tension between...
Move in whenever you want.
They struggle to balance the tension between joy and pain, which you have to have pain in a game if you're going to have the joy, right? You have to, like, the player has to be somewhat frustrated and perturbed to be able to enjoy overcoming the challenge. But designers, there's got to be a tender balance to try to get that exactly right. And this fucking yo-yo system of this, every RPG that has a morality system needs to go die in the lake of fire. Mass Effect, this one, like, or at least that mechanic of the game, because like the hoops you have to jump through just to get that cold to decrease 1. Like, can we just? Anyway, enough critiques. This game, overall, this game's very positive. I know I tend to focus on the things that annoy me. I don't need to. I can oversave it. I don't care if that dude's dead. I didn't like him anyway. Let's see, Kaz says, one of the more recent games... Okay, I read that one. He said, it then went on to say, the game from 1980 was only about 17 minutes with a walkthrough, though. I imagine it took 4 or 5 hours if you had to puzzle through. Interesting. Yeah, 17 minutes is... I'd love a 17-minute video game. That sounds right up my alley. I think my sweet spot for video games is about 4 hours. Like, give me 4 solid hours of an adventure. If I'm really liking it, give me 8. But most of these games are just running errands for people. And nobody wants to really admit that, but I'm running errands for this guy who's now my boss. And I get paid in experience points that let me use better weapons the 4 times I get into fights where everything is overpowered in this game. Because they want you to fuck up the morality system if you want to be able to level. Like, if you want to be strong, you have to be cold and evil. Or I guess I could have gone the magic route and made myself up. Like, basically, I feel like and this is kind of an interesting thing. RPGs seem to favor mages, which doesn't surprise me because I imagine most of the designers are not gun-toting warriors. They're probably more nerdy and artsy. I don't know that. But they seem to always favor mages. Like, magic always trumps everything in these video games, and I usually couldn't give a fuck about magic. Like shooting a fireball out of my hand. Fuck out of here. I put a bullet between your eyes. You can go fuck a fireball. Yeah, and that's kind of just the impracticality of some of this shit in combat. It's just like, come on, man. We've been through this. But yeah, I could deal with a 17-minute game. Heck yeah. He wants me to just go back to him now. Because every time I go back to him, he doesn't have anything for me. So, it's weird. Elizabeth says, Superman has been distracted with everything in his life, and it seems like he is present with everyone but me. If we are building a relationship, he needs to call in sick or show up to the work site and do whatever he is capable of doing. I don't want a battle buddy who can call for help when he needs it. I don't want someone who is going to go missing if he can't humble himself to it then. How do I know he has my back on the battlefield when he keeps going missing? So I think in this case, Alyssa, can't call... Oh, okay, let me reread that sentence. Who can't call for help. Oh, I got it. I don't want to be with a battle buddy who can't call for help when he needs it. Yeah, so given his background, just remember that isolation is a part of that. And that's something that isn't necessarily going to go away, but you're going to want to help him find healthy ways to isolate. I'm doing one of mine now. Like, people who've been through extreme trauma have a tendency, isolation is part of our coping mechanism. My brother went through that when my father passed away, for example. Like, I just need to get into a cave. I don't need any fucking help. Because I had to tell my mom one time, because she was wanting to help me when I was struggling really bad psychologically, and I scared her to death. Because, you know, a mom wants to help and feels helpless when she sees her son struggling, but it's like I had to look her in her face and I said, Mom, there are worse things than death. Please stop pestering me. I said, you have to understand that what I'm going through right now feels worse than dying. You're afraid of me dying. I'm not planning to die or hurt myself. What I'm going through is already harder than that. So, like, I don't need your help. What I need is to get through this motherfucker. Right? Because what I'm going through may be an internal struggle that is just something that I have to weather in that case, right? Now, not that I don't have support, not that I don't want my mom to be there for me. But there's just certain times as men, there's a part of our journey is you're alone and the dragon's coming. What now? You know, because one of my buddies told me when I was really, really having a hard time. He's like, I know I didn't call you a lot. He's like, my wife was on my case all the time. He's like, but the way I feel about it, I saw you drowning, and I'm not going to help you if you don't start swimming yourself. Fuck you. He's like, that may sound cold. I said, no, that's why you're my brother, because I would have said the same shit to you. I said, you notice I'm swimming now, right? He said, yep. I said, thank you for doing what you do. So let's come back to you on this one and say, I think something that would help you is, obviously you're trying to type it on a chat and I'm trying to interpret. So I'm going to make some assumptions here. If I get something wrong, it's just let me be wrong. I'm not assuming the things I'm saying are right. Just trying to give you some ideas. So one thing I think would be helpful, and I'd wonder if you'd agree, is defining your terms. And specifically, if we are building a relationship, let's see, I don't want a battle buddy who can't call for help when he needs it. I don't want someone who's going to go missing. So that's the isolation piece. I think I can track with that. If he can't humble himself to it, then how do I know he has my back when I'm struggling? Okay, I got it. Superman has been distracted with everything in life. So the term I want you to get very specific, if you haven't already with yourself yet, I need to know what present with everyone but not me means. Because I'll tell you, I'm present differently with different people. Right? So I need to fully understand what you mean. Like if you were coming at me and saying, coming to me, not at me, and saying, hey boss, I noticed that you're present with a lot of other people, but not me. I would say, okay, I believe you. Now please tell me the behaviors you witnessed that prove that, not prove it because I believe you. The behaviors that you witnessed that made you feel that way, so I can understand there may just be a miscommunication. Right? And there may not. I just always want to be thorough because you never want misunderstanding to be what causes conflict, right? You want to have your terms defined and be very clear when there needs to be a conflict, a healthy conflict in this case, hopefully. So it's, being very clear with your terms. Like, I feel as though you are present with other people in ways that you aren't with me. Here's what I mean by that specifically. And here is how I would like to see you rectify it if possible. And if not possible, how do we work through? What is the compromise that we can work through to make that work? What should my expectations be if you can't meet me where I'm asking you to go? And then that takes all the pressure to be right or to have to, feel like we're being admonished. It's two humans trying to figure out how to help each other win harder versus one trying to admonish or correct the other. And I think you have that natural kind of tendency, so I think that'll always come across in your personality. But being very if you had said to me, "You're present for everyone but me," that is an emotional statement, very much. We know it's not objectively true, so what it's betraying is that there are some underlying emotions that could be teetering on the realm of resentment, which gets really much harder to deal with than just pain. So I want to dig into that emotion. What does present for everyone but you mean? Okay, took me a long time to get around to that emotional piece, but I needed to think through my thoughts to be able to say that to you. But I will tell you that your concern is valid, all right? Your concerns are 1,000% valid. I see no issues with your concern. I just want to help you communicate them in a way that ultimately keeps things cooperative and not combative or competitive. Nick says, when I play Dungeons and Dragons, I usually play a fighter or a paladin because I would rather be face to face and fight. I don't mind fighting from distance but I just like guns. Like shooting a fireball out of my ass is not interesting. Maybe I just like playing with things I've used in real life. Maybe there's a thing to it. I don't know. Alyssa says, and if he would tell me that, I would have the patience to wait for what I need. His ass knows where I've been, and that I get that. Okay, well, that's good. Alyssa goes on to say, every time we get a moment alone, there's an interruption. We had a moment alone while his son naps, and all of a sudden, his friend shows up. He had invited him, and I got no notice. What the fuck? I had just said I want... Yeah, okay. Yep, all right. All right. Come on, Superman. You gotta step that shit up. Yeah, well, you're probably not going to get him to open up much when other people are around. Hell, I wouldn't, because I don't trust anybody. Like, I was talking to my business partner today. He was trying to help a Marine years ago in a business situation, and the Marine was actually about to get fired, and my boy was trying to help him, and the Marine got belligerent, not belligerent, but like off-standard. I said, Tony, the thing you got to understand is he wanted to be talked to by a Marine. He didn't, and Tony earned his trust because Tony's a fucking gangster, but it took a minute. If Tony had walked in uniform, he would never had to have done that. But it's like military people, a lot of times when it comes to real interpersonal shit, we don't trust non-military people to help us. Because we see how y'all non-military people treat each other with the fucking backbiting and gossiping shit. The world I come from, that shit gets people killed on the battlefield. I ain't got time for that fucking emotion on the battlefield. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we gotta get Soup. Soup got to step that shit up. That's unacceptable. So I understand why you're frustrated then. Come on, Soup. We got to do better than that, man. And Super, we wouldn't be disappointed if we thought you couldn't do better or hadn't done better, Superman.
Crazy.
You've done better than you're doing now. Get back in the game, baby. That sounds like where he is. Like, he's just not in the game. Because those behaviors don't sound anything like the guy you've been gushing over for the last several months.
Why did you kill Iron Madison?
Because she's a punk bitch who attacked me.
She deserved to die.
Actually, I think I just...
You can't.
Nope. I knew I fucked that up right when I did it. I knew it. I totally just fucked that up. Damn it. Oh, these damn morality systems in video games. Can we bring the arcade generation back and just I understand what I'm saying. Like, I don't love a lot of arcade games. Some of them are a little overly simplistic to be fun, but can we get a fucking happy medium between this overly complex, I need an engineering degree to remember what goddamn quest I'm on, and Galga? Like, can we get a happy medium between those two things, you whores?
Crazy, huh?
Yeah, I will die for him, but not because of him, right? So yeah, my whole point there is don't expect him to open up in front of mixed company. There's places I won't even go with my wife because I don't want to talk. Like, I know the crowd. Like, I don't even want to go that place. Why? Because I'm gonna choke the fuck out of somebody. That's why. Don't get me around goddamn bureaucrats. We're just like, I'm doing them a favor. I'm the asshole here, not them. They're fine. Like, it's just no. I don't want to go to any fucking political parties. Those type of people we are oil and fucking water.
Why did you kill Iron Madison?
I didn't have anything to do with it.
This isn't a time for lies. I know what happens in my own town. You're fortunate that the Duke hasn't learned of this yet. So out with it. Why did you kill her?
It wasn't anything to do with me.
You're sticking with your story? Okay. Other people have different versions of events.
Other
So how
people
am I
ain't
supposed
me.
to unpick the truth? The Duke is angry, but you're lucky. Normally he'd have someone killed for something like this, but for now...
So he'd have someone
he's letting
killed
this
for
go.
someone attacking me and defending myself. That's your Duke is retarded, and should be like no, that's a compliment. He's not retarded. He just needs to be shot. Like, the dude's brain, he's willfully stupid. That's worse than retarded.
About these district overseers.
Yeah, so do you think maybe, does he have any like concerns about being alone with you? Has that ever come up in your conversation? You know? Like, is getting intimate, and I don't mean sexual, obviously, but getting more intimacy alone with you maybe a little scary for him? Maybe a little scared of success? Because he sees where things are going, and his last relationship didn't end too well. And he's scared to see this develop and lose something that he cares about. There could be a lot of things at play here as to why he may be procrastinating in giving you exactly what you're looking for, because he's not emotionally ready to get to that place yet. And I think that's something you need to be mindful of, because if that's in any way, shape, or form close to some semblance of accurate, then that's something you're going to want to consider. And that's a conversation I think you guys need to have, because if that's true, he may not even be like consciously aware that that's what he's doing, right? Just being afraid of losing something he cares about after having gone, you know what I mean? Because the scenarios, for the way you describe the human, the behavior doesn't add up. So it's like either this is an isolated incident and this person just was off the mark, or there's another catalyst that's causing behavior that's unlike the human. I think what you're going to be for him is really a healing source and allowing him to be vulnerable, but he's got to get to the place where he has the courage to be it.
Mad Bob will start his scrap deliveries again.
Good. We need that scrap.
The best thing to
Profit
happen
is
to
good for all
arcade
of
games
us.
was save states and
You
rewind.
survived Mad Bob. You must have a knack for getting on with people. That could be useful.
Useful, huh? Alright, well, I didn't get my cold increased again, and I didn't get a trophy, so I'm assuming my cold did not decrease to the requisite value of cold that I needed to decrease to, such that I can end the damn game the way I'd like to, because why make that process not a complete pain in the ass to do?
I have nothing.
For someone who likes kinetic activities and not listening to people talk. Remember playing games? Remember when we used to do that? Now we just watch games. At some point we're going to watch people watching people playing games. That's what I think's next. We're going to have let's plays. We're going to have let's watch let's plays. Yeah, and that's why I said I'm not talking about sex at all. Like, I'm saying, like, actual intimacy, not being physical. I mean, being alone and connected to another human being. Are there some, like, you know what I mean? Because your earlier statement was that you never get him alone. Well, it's like, it's not him. He's getting other people alone. Like what's happening? Like, do you want to slow roll this a little harder? Are we getting a little bit too in the weeds too fast for you? Like, just be open and honest with me, man. There's never going to be any, like, just assure him, if what I'm about to say is accurate, assure him that there's no judgment or condemnation regardless of what he's feeling, just that you need him to be honest in order for this to work. And no matter what his stance is, that if, you know, he still wants to be a part of this team, hey, we're still going to make this work. We just got to figure out how to work together. That's all. Yeah, I'm always reluctant to use the word intimacy because people a lot of times, it's like, it immediately gets associated with sex. And I was like, I never mean it that way. People use intimacy as a euphemism for sex, but they are not interchangeable. Well, I guess they could be interchangeable in some contexts, but... Alright, so where do I want to go next? Also need to keep an eye on the time. Ooh! We're getting close to shutting down the first stream of the night and starting the second. Oh, so wait, that was part of the main quest? Okay. So actually, if I select Homeboy, yeah? If I select him, but it goes to William. And let's go talk to the Duke real quick, because I think we're pretty much at the point of the game where they force us to choose a faction. And we'll get ready to do that. Wait, he gave me another quest. Let me go do that first. That's the quest I'm missing. And I'm guessing, like, the quest I came from was a main quest. So I assume the follow-on quest that he gave me was part of the main quest. It appears that is not the damn case. So I've got to look in Tavar now. Of course. Actually, let's talk to him just in case. Clem says, nice shades. Thanks, brother. What about nice Vectrex? That's the mascot for our show. And since Clem's here, I'm going to go ahead and reveal some of the surprises we have on the show today, because I didn't do it last night. And we've got more surprises on the way. First and foremost, make sure you get your Don't Do It To Me Jesus shirts. This shirt is brought to you by this show. I say Don't Do It To Me Jesus regularly here on the Game Therapy Show, because I regularly feel like I'm getting my ass beat by an angry and vengeful God who doesn't like me very much and has basically destined me to play video games that I hate for eternity. But yeah, so that's, and right behind me actually, if you look just over this shoulder right here, I've got the design on the shirt hanging right there. So that's the Don't Do It To Me Jesus. So the surprise was I went and did some video game collecting yesterday. Uh-oh. Did this fall out? No, we're good. And I showed you guys the back of the cases yesterday, and I can come out of the saving screen because we're getting ready to shut the stream down here in a few anyway, and I'm not exactly sure what we're doing next. Yeah, that's true, Alyssa, and that's why I'm saying just exercise. In this case, it sounds like you have a winner, so you may have to be a little bit more patient than you feel like you're supposed to be, just given his situation. I know Miko had to be that with me for a lot of years. She had to be very, very patient with a person who had been fucking traumatized beyond his capacity to cope with the fucking world. And she had to be patient while I figured out how to put together being a human being and not a killer again. So, patience, my lady.
Talk is cheap.
Alright, so he's got nothing for me, which is fine. But, so we went video game collecting. I saw an ad on Craigslist, and the guy wanted, $200 for this lot of games. It's like, $200? What are the games? Well, they were Dot Hack, or I guess it was $250, right? Dot Hack Infection. That's part 1 to Dot Hack. And then here, I'm sorry. Did I hold up the right one? Infection, right? I'm trying to hold it at an angle where you can actually see what I'm holding up. Dot Hack Infection for the PlayStation 2. That's part 1 of the Dot Hack series. A series that, when I was running the RPG club, friends and people who participated in the club told me for years to play these games, and I never did. So now we're making good on that. I got Dot Hack Outbreak, which I believe is part 3 in the series. Right? Outbreak. Yeah, that's part 3. So part 1, part 3, and the magical Dot Hack Quarantine, part 4. This game alone can sell for close to $400. And the dude sold me all of these, and these go for anywhere from 40 to 60, right? The dude sold me the whole thing for $2 and some change. And I hit him. I said, hey, man, I've been collecting quite some time. You're clearly selling this under market value, which is very rare for online sellers because they're stupid. But, like, is there something wrong with the games? Like, do I need to be prepared to be disappointed when I drive all the way out to your house? He's like, no. The games are in great condition. He's like, dude, I paid $3 for these, and I don't need to jack the price up. I want to sell it and make a little bit of cash. You get some, I get some. That seems fair. I said, this motherfucker's just like me. I got to the house, I actually hung out with him. Shook hands. He's like, yeah, man, then fuck it. You get a deal, I get a deal. We both get to win. I said, motherfucker, if I could clone your ass, are you on social media? You need to be on social media. I need more of you around. But, the guy was also, by looking at him, I'm guessing he was in his 50s. Like, he's been around a while, so he's probably not hanging out on fucking social media. You got shit to do. Like the rest of us. I got kids and shit. Can't be hanging out What did Justin Bieber say about me? Nothing, because he doesn't give a fuck about my existence. Nor should he. All right, so it was cool, man. So I got those games. I got a real big surprise for Clem. Clem, you gonna shit a brick, baby. You gonna shit a whole ass brick. You gonna shit 2 bricks. I can predict 2 whole ass bricks gonna shoot out of your ass when I show you the surprise I got for you. And I did it for you. I spent cheese to bless your ass. Well, I guess it's not blessing you because I bought it for myself. I'm not sending it to you, but you're gonna get to see it. And that's gonna hopefully be here tomorrow. And I was really hoping the big surprise I had for you guys was gonna be here today. It's not. Although I haven't checked the mail. Sometimes the mail drops packages late. I'll check the mail again before our next stream. Maybe we'll get lucky. But no later than tomorrow, hopefully the big surprise should be here. And in fact, I could probably predict it if I got an email about it. So let's check our email. Oh, speaking of emails. Okay, so Clem's surprise shipped today. Very nice. Okay, this explains why I didn't get my ship. The big surprise didn't ship until I ordered it last week. The big surprise didn't. I just literally just got this. I was like, let me check my email. This email just came in like 2 hours ago. The big surprise got shipped today, which means it'll be here tomorrow. It's only going 6 miles. Which always shows me how inefficient USPS is. Because it's like, dog, this shit has to go from this door to a door 6 miles down the road. You don't have a system that can identify regional distances of packages and prioritize. Like, I know FedEx and those people have logistics on lock. They're the people who do transportation logistics for a lot of the big companies like the NFL and shit. Like, how the fuck am I waiting 24 hours for a package that Amazon could have got here the day I fucking ordered it? How are y'all still in business? Is it like PBS? Is somebody keeping that shit alive? Because it better not be my tax dollars. Because somebody's getting fucking fired as a politician. If USPS still exists because of a politician and I find out about it, I'm just going to dedicate the next couple of years. I ain't mentoring or building businesses. I'm just getting that motherfucker fired. Get his ass. And matter of fact, get him off the planet. We need less of his ass. I don't mean kill him. Like, put him on that Mars shit. Send him up there and bring back some dirt samples or something. Fuck him. Your FedEx driver loves stepping on boxes? What fucking ghetto ass FedEx is in your neighborhood? Oh my god. What the hell? Can we please get a warrior veteran running USPS? No, you'll never get one because the first thing we do when we got there is shut that place the fuck down and tell America you're welcome. No, a veteran will never run that. That actually happened to me in a company. They had asked me to come in and evaluate some of their business processes. And in 24 hours, it was like, you need to divest from all this shit. Well, we can't. Well, then what the fuck did you bring? You want me to make your business better, right? So you want me to spend the next couple of years helping you run these bullshit lines of business? Fuck you. You want my actual business skills? Stop spending $1 million a year on shit that doesn't need to exist so your fucking senior executives can... Let me not finish that sentence. You know, so... yeah, no, all businesses do dumb shit. But USPS especially. But my point is, even if you put a warrior in charge of that company, it's still going to be fucked up. Because most of the people who work there are not warriors. Now, you know, that's not fair. I don't know a lot of people that work at USPS. Maybe they're the best motherfuckers who've ever lived. I don't know. But let's just say the ones I've run into, while some of them are very kind, And it's not like the people, I'm not talking about the people who like work in the package place. I'm sure they're amazing. It's just the operation itself that I'm shitting on. So what I'm actually shitting on is the leaders. Not the, like, matter of fact, I'm friends with the lady that delivers my mail. She's awesome. I really hope she gets a job somewhere else when I'm done getting USPS burnt to the ground. In fact, you know what? I'll burn UPS to the ground and just hire her myself. And I'll give her a better job and pay her better and give her more time at home with her kids. And then I'll buy her a t-shirt that says, fuck USPS. And she'll wear that as one of my employees gladly. Because I rescued her from that fucking hellhole that she's... Oops. Alright, I beat the joke to death. Let's leave. Let's give USPS a break. They're trying hard. Oh shit, did I come all the way back here in my quest line? It looks like I did. Big Blake.
I don't recognize your face. Are you with Bloody Baxter or Logan the Duke?
Who is Baxter?
You really aren't from Baxter the Bloody. He founded the camp here. They say he killed over a dozen jackals with his bare hands. Pulled their innards out through their throats, and yet a man as brave as that turned and ran.
Ran from what?
From the Duke. Logan kicked Baxter out of the fort and took over. And then the Duke sent jackals out after him. So, they say. But you will have to decide how much of that is true.
Let's see. Christopher says the administration is the garbage. Good people working their asses off. Yep. That lady, I've seen her all over my neighborhood. She kicks ass. Working their asses off, his boots on the ground. Capitalism goes round and round, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. And it's interesting because capitalism is a really cute thing to pick on in the modern world, but it's like, it's such a narcissistic, not taking personal responsibility stance to take that capitalism is evil. It's like, you shitbags, we're the ones that made it and the ones who are operating it. Capitalism's not the evil, it's us. We are the ones who are dealing with human entropy, not the system. The system can only be as perfect as the people implementing it. We are imperfect. Therefore, capitalism is imperfect. I always went like people shitting on capitalism. It's like, that is a lazy ass fucking stance to take. Well, let's just blame capitalism because then I don't have to fucking do any work to make shit better. Fuck you. Like, no, capitalism's not the problem. Your dumbass is. My dumbass is. The way we operate the system is fucked up. And we let people operate the system, not because we're corrupt, because we don't give enough. Like, I now, because I had that terrible experience, now give enough of a fuck to make sure UPS burns in the lake of fire. USPS, sorry, let me get the terms right. I don't have any beef with UPS. I want them to burn in the lake of fire. And if I had enough energy and was probably younger and into political shit, I'd probably do something about that. I'm not going to, because I'm just joking for the purposes of the show. Because they'll, trust me, they'll kill themselves just as well as I can get rid of them. Because they suck. Their leadership seems to suck. Let me say that. I don't know for a fact. Maybe it's just really hard to deliver packages as good as Jeff Bezos does when you're run by bureaucrats. What was I talking about? So yeah, capitalism's evil. No, humans are stupid. Fix us, capitalism's fixed overnight. And it's a real bad human tendency that I notice, especially in non-military types, where it's always something else's fault that shit sucks. And you ask a soldier, why does shit suck? Because I suck. If I was better, shit would be better. Next question. You know, like, the world needs more soldiers, man. And I don't mean people who can fight wars. I just mean people who think and take responsibility for shit. And not blame the whole world for why their version of it sucks.
I'm not with anyone.
Really? No one? Well, as you're new here, then you should try and get the full picture. Don't take people's word for anything until you've got the facts, yeah? Life under Bloody Baxter's rule matched his name. It was bloody. The Duke with nasties helping him with planning. Well, they've changed things here. So, what do you want?
The only hope you have in taking down Activision, Terry, is to make a company that did what Activision does. Or, I'm sorry, I said those two words backwards. The only hope you have in taking down Activision, because they have more money and lawyers than you. You're not making them go anywhere. until they've run their course, which will be, when was Activision started? 70s? They'll be done. Let's assume Activision started in 1980. I don't know when. They'll be done by 2060. You won't have to worry about them anymore. But if you want to really get rid of them faster, you critique by creating, right? Don't keep making videos. Don't do what Jim Sterling does. What he is doing will ultimately be ineffective because humans are fucking animals. Okay? We respond to emotion, not compassion, right? Or responding to doing the right thing. We respond to fear. All right? So, or we respond to extreme fear or extreme, pleasure. So your best hope in taking down Activision is to make a company that does what Activision did to get where they are, and then doesn't fuck everybody in the process. Now, I got to warn you, you're never going to become Activision by being that way, because you won't make the necessary capital, I think, to get that big. But it won't matter, because you'll have enough people who love your games, me included, supporting you financially to the point where you don't need to necessarily go out and get a ton of shareholders to get your billion-dollar company off the ground. But if you can make the dopest game that's ever been made and get a lot of people fucking playing it, you can pull them away from Activision's games, which all of their games are atrophying now. My son doesn't even like Call of Duty anymore, and he was all over jocking Call of Duty's nuts for the last 2 years. He's already exhausted after 2 years of playing it. Madden, all I ever hear the Madden fans scream about is, it doesn't do this. It doesn't. Now, you guys watch how I play Madden. It's one very specific thing I do. I play a season with me and my friends and my family members as the players, and we make it into a funny story where I win games by 200 points because all my players are good. So I don't give a fuck if the blocking scheme, like... But my point is, all of the stuff they make is disappointing all their fans, but I'll tell you why they haven't left yet. The joy that Activision created before they created all this pain was such a massive amount of joy that people aren't ready to give up that dopamine addiction yet. But if you could make something that pulls them away from... What if you could make a Diablo that's better than Diablo? What if Thomas Happ, instead of focusing on Metroid, a very obscure game in comparison to Nintendo's most popular titles, a very niche, cult-following style of game, the Metroidvania, right, that older people usually tend to play, and people with money, like, if I wanted to look at all the demographics that typically play spaceship shooters and Metroidvanias, I could build profiles, right? But what if Thomas Happ had made the next Diablo, and it fucking murdered, and it didn't have any of that auction house bullshit they tried to pull, none of the gotcha business shit, we got to make an extra buck otherwise we'll be out of business in a week, like, just dope. Because if you don't think that's possible, that's exactly what Fortnite did to that other shitty ass open world, what do they call it, battle royale, PUBG. It's not shitty, people love it. I just don't like battle royale games. So if you want to take down Activision, stop bitching in your videos and get to making, because it's the only way you're going to be successful. Otherwise, just shut the fuck up. They'll be dead in 40 years.
Tell me about Baxter.
Why do you want to know? He's gone. No one knows where he is. There's some who say that Baxter is everywhere and nowhere, that he has spies, eyes and ears everywhere. Others say that he was shot in the back of the head and is buried out there in the sands. Whatever the truth, no one's heard from him since Nasty took the fort and the Duke took...
But no, Terry, there aren't other companies like that, what I'm trying to tell you, because there's nobody making the better Diablo than Diablo that everybody agrees with. Maybe the Ascent has the opportunity to do that, right? Torchlight, I think that was the name of the Diablo clone, was great, but it ain't Diablo. Nobody's making a better Madden than Madden. Used to, not anymore. Nobody's making a better hockey game. Nobody's making a better Call of Duty. I mean, some would argue I like Battlefield better, but it's not. I like it because it's not Call of Duty, not because it's a better Call of Duty. So my point is, no, there is not a company doing what they do better than them. There are companies that do great shit, but it ain't Activision shit. And Activision shit has murdered since really the 1990s or early 2000s, depending on how you want to look at their growth trajectory. And some of the companies you're talking about that do compete with them, well, you need to give them more time. They've got to build the, like I said, if Activision's been doing this since 1980, they've had more time to develop brand insistence psychologically and emotionally with a customer base. So yeah, the Jim Sterling method will never work. That'll get a lot of counterculture, kind of the more curmudgeon-y nerds that hate everything and like to be anti. Those people will always love and support him. You know, and will he affect change in the industry? Absolutely. I think he probably already has to a very powerful degree. I know he's affected me in a lot of positive ways. I like his shit. But if he really wanted those people to go down, just build something better. Put them out of fucking business. You know, do what VHS did to Betamax. Do what Blu-ray did to HD DVD. Just fucking murder Activision with what you create. Otherwise, Hades was at the Game Awards. Okay. That's one. Where's the Madden? Where's the Call of Duty? Right? Where's everything else Activision does? You got one. Good job. Okay, has that game reached Diablo's levels in terms of collective sales across all the Diablo games? When it gets to that number, call me. Did I show my newest mascot? I didn't, Jolly, and thank you for the reminder, because we need to do that. I need to figure out where he is, because since I cleaned up my office, I moved him. With Madden, it's not that simple. No, Terry, and that's what I keep telling you. I don't care that it's hard. If you care enough about it, fucking do something about it. Yeah, it's hard. Fuck you. If you want it to change, do the hard shit. I mean, that's what I tell everybody. I'm not yelling at you. That's my attitude. People say, Brian, it's harder than you. It's harder, easier said than done. Yeah. And you're a coward for saying that shit and thinking I don't know that. Fucking step up and do the hard shit if you want it to change. Otherwise, shut the fuck up. Terry, I don't care. I don't care about the licensing rights. Amazon had licensing rights to the NFL last year. They don't anymore. Figure out how to get the licensing rights. Make them a deal they can't refuse. Activision did. Figure that shit out. See, this is why I get frustrated with people in life. You guys will say, I want this thing to happen. And when I say, okay, this is what the fuck it's going to take, then you just start complaining. Like, okay, then don't complain. Well, if you can think of better things to do with your time, then don't call me and say our life purpose is to take down Activision. Now, I understand this is hypothetical. We're just fucking around. But I'm trying to get the principle across to other listeners. Like, this is the mentality of most of the people I run into in the world. Complain about a thing, and then when it's time to pony up, hey, we can do something about this. Oh, that's too hard. Or I got better shit to do with my time. Like, I'm telling you right now, if fucking Piranha Bytes calls me on the phone or whatever and says, hey, man, we heard all that crazy shit you said about our game. Could we pick your brain to understand some of the psychology shit you know that we're baking into our game so we can make... I would fly the fuck... Where are they at? Poland or one of them? I would fly the fuck out there on my own dime just to do it for fun. I'd put my money where my mouth is. Put your money where your mouth is, babe.
Control.
That's all I'm saying. Or put your hands where your mouth is, not your money.
The Duke won't like it. And if Baxter is still alive, it's not like he's doing anything to defend his own name, is it? Let him fade into the
Nope,
past.
you can't think of something better than to do with your time than to make a better Madden, because you told me your life's purpose was taking down Activision. If you can't make a better Madden, you're not taking them down. You got to be able to, or you got to make something. Okay, so think about this more from a war or a business perspective. Okay, so the solution is I can't get an NFL license. So I'm not going to compete with the NFL. What could I get people playing that isn't the NFL, but could be a substitute for it that's just as fun? Could I maybe make a less like NFL Blitz, but arena football arcade more like game that was more like the older Maddens that's more fun to play for people who just want to pick it up and play? And the goal of the game is to put your own play. Like, there's things you can do to be competitive. You just Got to be creative. Like, my point is, if you want this bad enough, how far are you willing to take it? And what I usually find with people is what they want is to talk about the shit that bothers them, but not really do anything about it. Because it just makes them feel better to talk about it. Which is fine, too. I'm all right with that. I certainly do that with video games. Nobody has called me to ask to consult on their game yet, so I'm certainly not putting my money where my mouth is.
Tell me more about the Duke.
Logan took the fort and he took charge. He's smart and strong enough to have risen to the top. And it runs
Yeah, no, I know
family.
it's not your call,
That
Terry.
sister of his is smart
I'm having
too,
fun
and tough enough to get
having
the men
this
to follow
hypothetical
her.
thing with
That
you.
should tell you
It's just fun
everything
to
you need
imagine.
know. A real leader.
Trust me, I'm not
But
trying to take
you're
Activision
an
down either. I
outsider.
don't give a shit. They can
I'm
stick
Johnny,
around as long as they
free
want it.
agent.
My
Are you up for earning yourself a
my philosophy is almost always buyer beware. It's like, you don't want to get taken advantage of and buy shitty things. Stop buying from shitty companies. It's kind of the way I look at it. Like, if people are lining up to buy Activision shit and they're not mad at all the dumb shit Activision does, that ain't for me to fix. That's their problem. I just won't buy their games. Because I don't remember the last time they made something that wasn't a sports game that I wanted to play.
Tell me the details and I'll decide.
It's got some risk attached to it. Can you handle that? Are you ready for a tricky task? Okay, so, details. The Duke has a weapons cache. I say cache, but I mean a stockpile. Arms trading is one of his businesses. That makes us competitors. Normally that's fine. There's room for us both. Only right now I've got a bulk deal going through. Only if I can get some grenades to complete the list of things he wants.
Harley says, I'm just working on taking Disney down after what they did to my beautiful Star Wars. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, man. I'm fortunate that I was old enough to see the prequels in theaters. So all of y'all that are having the living in this nightmare of Star Wars, I've been in that since like 2003. It's like, these movies are terrible. And I never cared. It was just like, I sat down to watch. The reason I knew Star Wars was through, and Disney did, when I knew kind of why Disney did what they did, like the method to their madness, I sat my kids down to watch the Star Wars trilogy when Episode 7 got announced. So what was that, 2014 maybe? It was quite a while ago. So the new episode gets announced, and I was like, well, if Star Wars is coming back, I want to do the family tradition thing, get my kids involved. Not 20 minutes into the first Star Wars, and my youngest at the time, my youngest wasn't born yet, but my youngest at the time was like, Dad, can we do something else? Because this Luke Skywalker motherfucker is boring. Like, Stu lives in the desert. His uncle's an asshole. Like, what is this movie, man? I was like, just wait, there's a sword. Like, what? A sword? Motherfucker, I watch TV shows with these bastards turn into robots and flying all over space and shit. He's gonna get a sword at some point, Dad? Wow, exciting. Well, it's a laser sword. You mean like Voltron? Yeah, I've seen it. But, oh, Jesus. So, my kids just don't care. Like, Star Wars is not their shit. And so, like, one of my buddies who is the Star Wars fan, I don't know one more Star Wars than that brother. And he is actually a filmmaker. So I have a lot of respect for him as a fan of anything related to movies because the dude makes films. He and I have actually shot things together in the past. Worked on promos for commercials, all kind of shit. And he's an awesome dude, by the way. I love him. I'm going to get him on the show at some point. But like, just hearing him break down these movies. Yeah, because he was like, why did Disney kill off all the shit we love? And I didn't have an answer for him at the time. But looking back on how my sons reacted, I said, because our kids don't care about Luke Skywalker. And now Luke Skywalker is old. My son's not going to relate to that old fart running around space. He wants to see something young and vibrant. That's what he is. I said, just simple human need to see ourselves in our avatars and in our idols. There's no way Han Solo and Luke Skywalker work in the future. He's like, but to shit all over him, dude? I said, well, that's a different thing. That's just bad writing by corporate bullshit. But, I just stopped giving a shit about Star Wars after like the year 2001. Because to me, it just wasn't fun anymore. And the old movies are great, but I've seen them so many times that I have them all memorized, so I don't really get excited for them anymore.
So what do you need me for?
I need at least 3 crates of grenades from the Duke's stockpile. I don't care how you get them. Just bring them here, and don't let the Duke's men trace you when you do. Do you think you can handle that?
Yeah, so Terry, if you live to 2060, there's a good chance you will see Activision. Basically, what I imagine will happen to Activision is they will start to break into smaller companies and be sold off eventually to some bigger Johnson & Johnson. Or, honestly, what I see happening straight the fuck up is when Amazon, or sorry, I just gave it away. When Activision does start to have challenges, like Bethesda was having challenges before Microsoft bought them, Amazon's been trying to get into video games forever. They've been trying to get into the NFL. Just makes sense. Own Madden. Then you'll get the NFL back on your fucking Amazon Prime. I think Amazon's going to end up owning Activision at some point, if I had to guess how things play out. Just not that I know the future. I just look back into history and see how the shit shakes out. Like Google eventually gets too big for their britches, and then they need support, so they get sold. You know what I mean? Activision's been at that point for a very long time. It's just their IPs have not atrophied enough for them to start looking at how do we get outside funding to keep the ship going, because their IPs are still printing money. Once that happens, and it always will, you know, like some of the stuff I'll give Jim Sterling a lot of credit on, his kind of watchdog shit where he's pointing out like, hey, some of the CFOs and CEOs of these companies are like actually physically hurting women and shit in the buildings. Like, can we cut that shit out? And I wish I could tell you, as a person who's been where I've been and done the things I've done, that shit is not that common. I've never been in a business where sexual assault is not part of the fucking thing there. And that's sad. Not that it's rampant or happening all the time, but just the fact that it happened ever, you know, after the 1950s or ever, right? And so him exposing a lot of that shit, I think, is good, because that shit goes on in so many places and never gets talked about. You know, and you got these people who, and not for nothing, there are good people in some of these companies who try to write that shit, and it is hard. Because you could fire someone, but does that help the 20 years of fucking pain that this woman who still works here is going for? Because every time she was up for promotion, she got denied because she wouldn't sleep with the guy who you just fired yesterday. Doesn't wipe away all her years of fucking misery. Now, I would have argued, I wish I had met her 19 years ago. I would have told her, hey, let's find you another job so you can stop working with idiots and still do your passion, still do what you love, and not be at the mercy of shitbags. But 20 years ago, for a woman like her, it was probably harder to do that. You know, so I think you will get your wish. I think Activision eventually goes away. It's just they've got to make enough mistakes before that can become the reality. And just right now, I don't know. And you, like you said, I live under a rock in terms of what these companies are doing. I'm taking a very broad brush. But I think if you live long enough, you'll see it. You'll see them get, like Blizzard will get sold off to something. And then Activision will be Amazon Activision or some shit. And then they'll just have their own video game store on Amazon. And then they'll have little pop-up shops where you can get your digital codes or whatever things you need to, you know, for the people who like buy prepaid cell phones, if that's still a thing, they'll be like, those folks will still buy CDs. They put a CD, DVD, Blu-ray store up so they can buy physical copies of their games. I don't know. Now I'm just rambling.
About these grenades you want.
So, are you going to get them for me?
There you go, Terry. Jesus Christ. He's registered? Christ! I didn't know that. I know everybody hates him, but I never knew anything. I don't look into the lives of these people. I don't care about them enough. And I'm no longer in the gaming media world, so I don't really give a fuck. I give a fuck that people are being hurt. I don't want that to happen, but Blizzard's owned by China now. Okay. Also, did you show all the mascots? Nope. Still gonna do it. Jolly, thank you for the reminder. Appreciate it. When will they atrophy? Well, they have atrophied. The atrophy's already happening. It just isn't like they've been building emotional positive capital with the audience that they have since I think the 1970s. 76, if I'm not mistaken, is when Activision got busy, isn't it? Somebody look it up. So they had a long time to get shit right. They're not going to just start doing it wrong and then overnight it's fucked up. It's going to take time. It's 20 years in, 20 years out, man. All right, you bunch of bontons with all your bocce ball. Let's get to checking out my new mascot for the show. It's always Bujuban. All right, so Jesus. Actually, I think I know where these grenades he wants are too. They're in the basement, and I think I already stole them. So I think I can give him these grenades right off the break.
No, I don't want anything to do with this.
Very well. Your loss. Like I said, but if I don't have...
Oh, damn it. See, I hate... Yeah, this is something I'm going to have to look into with Elex too, because I don't know how much more... I don't really know how much more of these fucking dialogue trees I can put up with in video games. Like, I pressed this button, that was the wrong thing to say, and it's not translated well. It's very clear that this game was not finished. And that's unfortunate, because I think if Elex had been actually finished, woo! This thing would be way better than Skyrim if it was a finished game and actually balanced properly. Our new mascot, gang, may he rest in peace. He'll always have a place on the shelf. My veteran brother, Stan Lee. Now, I was never a big comic book guy, admittedly. But I have always, as long as I've known this cat, had a lot of love for what he was up to, knowing his story. And I've always loved, I mean, as you can see, the one comic book character, I won't say comic book because I haven't read many of them. The one comic book I've ever given a shit about is right there. The one character. Wolverine. It was the first comic I ever read that was like, oh, this guy's actually kind of like an adult. And he hates people. I like this guy. We're going to get along great. You know, and so you got the Wolverine comic. Miko bought that for me. She's like, I got you something at the store. I think it'll be collectible one day. And you love to, you know, you're a collector. You know, you don't go crazy with it. But I thought it was cute. And I was like, yeah, babe. And we love Stan Lee, you know, and when I learned that he was a veteran, I never knew that back in the day. It just made me fall more in love with the guy, that he took all his pain. Because make no mistake, veterans have brought you some of the things you love most on this planet. If you love comic books, understand that what the comic books you're reading are the transmutation of the pain that the author has been through, in this case, Stan Lee being a veteran. But a different set of books that I wanted to talk about come from, Terry will appreciate this, a European veteran, one from England specifically, I believe. Or actually, was he English? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was. J.R.R. Tolkien. What a lot of people don't know is that The Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, that whole story is him processing shell shock from World War I. Why do you think Frodo gets on the... Oh, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Why do you think Frodo gets on that ship at the end of the story? You don't think that's the author not being able to cope with the way the world is anymore and he has to escape it? Every motherfucker who's been to war knows the end of that movie. Veterans are awesome. That's what I'm trying to say. So you have two veterans right next to each other. Yep. Bob Ross, that's the guy I'm becoming. And the great Stan Lee. My two veteran mascot brothers right here next to me, keeping an eye on the old boy to make sure I get things right. It's my guys. But yes, Bob Ross. Another very interesting, fascinating story of a man who has inspired, it has to be millions. Who hasn't seen Bob Ross at this point? It's the same reason why Jim Sterling keeps bringing up the same stuff, because he doesn't want people... Yeah, no, listen, man, Jim Sterling is a brave fucking human soul. First of all, to go through his gender change publicly with a middle finger to the whole world, like, all right. Like, yeah, he's nothing if not bold, you know what I mean? And then to do that in the midst of him taking probably more criticism than he's ever encountered in his past, right? And he's trying to point out, like, hey, mindless apes that keep buying things. Can you stop for 5 seconds to realize that your money is going to basically people who are little better than human traffickers? Can we all collectively agree that we can stop playing Madden for a week and talk about this shit? You know, and in this case, the last company I saw him talking about was Ubisoft and not Activision with the sexual assault and harassment shit, I think was the allegations. But yeah, it's like we're so tuned in to wanting to entertain ourselves that we'll just fuck it. Yeah, they raped a couple people. It doesn't matter. I want to play Madden. Like, no! God damn it!
I don't recognize your face. Are you with Bloody Baxter or Logan the Duke?
The Lord of the Onion Rings, that's a good one. Yeah, so people didn't know that whole Lord of the Rings universe was token processing. PTSD. What we now call PTSD. In his day, we called it shell shock. Like George Carlin, I like that term better. PTSD sounds like something bureaucrats talk about when they're trying to vote on whether or not we get help. Shell shock sounds like somebody's been through some really heavy fucking shit that you should probably have a talk with them about. And in J.R.R. Tolkien's case, instead of becoming an alcoholic like many people came to try to drink it away, or, you know, he decided, I'm going to write this fucking book series that's going to legitimately change the way people look at Earth. It's pretty badass if you ask me. Well done, J.R. Terry says, honestly, I don't know a damn thing about the Lord of the Rings. I never really did either until I heard that story. Like, I've seen the movies. I won't read the books. Because nope.
Well?
Don't care.
What? There's some who say that, whatever. Take. And, but, are you? Oh, that's normal. If you don't want to, I won't. You know my...
Alright, now I can save because dialogue trees have wrong ways to do them when you're trying to accomplish something, because that's fun. I feel like I hope what I'm doing is similar to Jim Sterling, albeit a million times less popular. Like, game designers one day hear all this dumb shit I said. Like, yeah, why do we do dialogue trees? Like, that shit makes sense in Dungeons & Dragons. Why do we make the player do that in a game where they're playing it? Like, I don't know.
About these grenades you want.
So, are you going to get them for me? Good decision. So, bring me 3 crates, and then you can pick out a reward. You got that?
Yep.
Sure, I'll get them.
Got him.
Let's do some...
Thank you. Dang, nobody sells weapons anymore, huh? Is that what we're getting into out here? Nobody selling weapons. Selling weapons for Jesus is what the Catholic Church used to do. Oh shit, did I sing that out loud? Actually, I think Jesus probably had nothing to do with the weapons, but... Jolly says, if you watch them in order, the Hobbit series, then the Lord of the Rings series, you can see the progression of shell shock in the Bilbo at the beginning of the Lord of the... Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely. Like, when he snaps in Lord of the Rings, that shit was put into the movie because they knew PTSD. That people... And shouts out to my guy, man, Peter Jackson, because he nailed that shit. Like, and he did the World War I movie that I took my son to see that was, you know, a limited run in theaters. The dude does his fucking research, man. Like, that part where Bilbo snaps, that's totally PTSD. I'm like, this motherfucker's done his research. Get some, boy. God damn, you bad. take the hammer, then take a small healing potion. Christopher says, if game designers listen to your channel, they'd off themselves at alarming rates. Holy hell, we're the bad guys? Nah, the publishers are the bad guys, designers. We're trying to set you free. I do need to change my language in those jokes because I should be somewhat accurate in the people I'm making fun of. It's usually the publishers, not the people actually working 90 hours a week and not seeing their kids. I feel for them. It's the damn publishers that are evil. And I say that knowing, as a person who owns businesses, I get it. And I've run bigger companies than the one I own, the ones I own. It's hard not to keep your company from behaving in shitty ways when you want that bitch to stay open and it needs to make money. Shit gets complex when you got more than 10 employees. Believe that shit. And those employees are dependent on you to make sure they can feed their kids this Christmas. Think you might not be incentivized to do some shit that ain't the greatest of all time if it makes you some money? You know, those are things you gotta think through. Not saying it makes it right, just I get it. So Christopher, since you took a course on Tolkien, is what I'm saying accurate? Like, did you get the same information, or am I telling myths? I want to make sure the shit I say when I'm not just joking around, if I'm telling a story,
How many
somewhat accurate.
lost? And you still
That is
think
his
that?
problem, not
You're
mine.
an idiot. No, I won't accept that.
Why would he even say that?
The people up there will take care of it.
If they don't take action, we're all in trouble.
How
Yeah,
many
good
people
point, Jelly.
have we lost? And you still think that?
Is there
You're
anything
an
we're
idiot.
not short of these days?
Damn, now I know I don't like bars in real life. The one in the game is just as annoying. Too many people, damn, talking all at the same time is loud. People smell bad. I mean, I smell good as shit.
You have been told.
Chloe
What the fuck are
smells
you looking
bad.
at? Buy a drink, get a life, or get the fuck out of here. All right?
All right.
Any advice on how I should get a life?
Don't take a job in this bar. Don't listen to anything anyone in this fucking town has to say. And don't waste the time of the few good, honest, hard-working people you can find here. Any more advice, you can pay for by buying a drink.
William sent me.
What do you want? You're not here to collect the Duke's tribute, are you?
Good guess. That's exactly what I'm here for.
It was no guess. It's years of practice. Let's see if you can do the same. Guess what I'm thinking. Is it A, no chance, B, not a chance in hell, or C, there's really not a chance in hell? Damn it.
Yeah, definitely not trying to say that he specifically wrote Bilbo to have PTSD, but that the stories were him processing his own shell shock and telling stories to help him. Like what I did with video games is the same thing he did with writing a book. I went into Battlefield to emotionally relive some of the shit, albeit fake and virtual, but relive some of the emotional things that I experienced in battle. And that was very, very healthy for me back in like 2007, 2008 to have those combat experiences in virtual space. Same thing, like he's processing the pain through the storytelling more so than just specifically trying to write a character with shell shock. That's more what I meant. Like the stories themselves are his emotional processing of the pain. And I can see, even if that he never said that, I can see it in the stories. That what happens to Frodo at the end of that movie and Bilbo, it's like, yes, there is no homecoming for the guy who's been to war. She never comes home. Again, it's over. Right? And that going to that elf island is a metaphor for going to find their peace. Because you, at least for me, I don't want to speak for a lot, I've had to find my peace separate from society, not as a part of it. Because society's just too weird to me at this point to
If you're
really
really
get along
set on
with.
collecting something, then go and see Rat.
And that's
He
at the
owes
macro
you, so
level.
you
At the
can
micro
get
level, I get along with my neighbors. I love them a lot. Now, if I do what I'm about to do, I'm about to get shanked.
Give me the shards, or I will take them.
All a fight is gonna get you is enemies. It's not just that I don't want to pay, it's that I don't have a shard to pay you. I have nothing at all right now. Here, I've got enough of this I can give you. But if you want to Elex it, go to Rat. He has a huge tab open here. You can collect it, and then everyone will be happy, okay?
So here's what I can't figure
Teach me
out
something.
is the hot-cold
Alright.
system morality in this game. The option I just picked, for all intents and purposes, was a very cold thing to say. Hey, give me the money or I'm going to beat it out of you. But my cold didn't increase. Like, can you make your system make, like, it... Can any video game be intuitive? Like, do I have to read a guide to figure all this shit out because you made it overly complex? You whores. Alright, here we go. Oh, I can get at you. Nope, I can't do any of that shit. Oh, yeah, definitely would love to have this skill. Damn it. Certainly could use that too. And that was shit. I would have loved to have these skills 27 years ago. Jesus Christ. Wait a minute. You don't let me have these skills till I'm a level 60 and they're specifically to help me level up? You're all whores. You're a gaggle of evil whores. That's you. The evil whore gaggle. Okay, so now that I'm seeing this is kind of cool, right? Wait, I gotta use skill points for this shit? Oh, yeah. No, that makes sense. I was thinking the other points. Gotta spend a little cash to get that. Okay, so now when I level up, but see, I still needed to be a level 50 before I could have ever tapped into this, and I didn't run into any trainers with personality to remember that they could train me in this, because you can train literally in so many different things, which is not bad. There's too many. Piranha Bytes games always let you level too many things, although I understand old school RPGs that you leveled everything. Like, RPGs are clearly originally made for micromanagers. I got that. But let's evolve. Let's assume that now that millions of people are playing this shit, some of us hate micromanagement. Let's balance it out a little. Alright, there we go. There we go. And with that, I'm going to bid you all a fond adieu and figure out a little bit better story-wise the priority that I need to give to the quests that are still available to me so we can finish this game up and move on. One of the reasons why I keep coming back to Elex is, one, I know it is the least popular game among the live audience, so I want to get through it faster. But I also know that when we edit the full movie, it'll be the one that gets, other than the retro games, probably most of the bigger game views, because European RPG fans like to watch European RPG content, of which there is not an overabundance of that. A lot of Americans don't really cover those games very heavily because they're not as popular and they want to grow. I care nothing about this growth. I simply want to be here for you. You're on the nose for sure. He watched industrialization happening that was ruining the lands and grew up in it. Yeah. God bless America. He 100%. Okay, cool. So I wasn't wrong. I can't remember where I read that. It was probably reading something about him, or I saw it in an interview that he did in, 1493 or whenever he was alive. Right now, I'm on a crusade against modern game consoles because my PS3 disc drive broke. What? Of all the mechanical things to break in these machines, the plastic-ass disc drive. Terrence is grateful for another day. How about you? Fantastic, Terrence. Good to see you, brother. Shit, Sony. Now, I will agree with you that Sony since their inception, has made shitty hardware. They've always made, but maybe not with the PlayStations, but outside of Walkmans, a lot of my Sony products were shit. Now, having said that, the giant monitor I'm working on right now is a Sony. It's actually not bad. Not all their stuff is bad. Like, I think what I found out with Sony is if you buy their higher end shit, it's actually decent. But like their consumer grade stuff, all this car stereos I used to have, the buttons flew off of them and broke and shit. I was like, this shit is cheap. The stories are 100% his processing of his emotions. Yep. By the way, Brian, never play No More Heroes. I had planned to avoid that game. I've seen enough people talk about it. The game starts out okay at first, but then after you finish the first mission, the game says you need to make 130,000 to progress, and only one way to do it is to play a mini game where you have to punch trees, pick up coconuts, and mash X as you run. Hell, that sounds like a dream compared to these hyper fucking complex games I've been asked to play for the last couple of months. And there's a time limit, and you get 2,000 per coconut. That's funny. Yeah, I had not planned to play No More Heroes, thankfully. It's not. I don't think it's my type of cheese. Jolly, I did the mascot, brother. It was Stan Lee. You don't remember? Did you step away when I covered the mascot? And the Vectrex. The Vectrex is actually on. Can you? I asked you guys on the last show. Can you actually see that a game is being played on the Vectrex? I'm not playing it. It's playing itself. But yeah, I like that. Clem says we are stronger than I. Everyone have a good evening. Hey, and by the way, guys, I'm not leaving. I'm going to check on my kids to make sure they're good to go and in bed, and then I'm coming back to do our actual stream for the night, which is Tales of Arise. So I'll be back here no later than 9:30 to kick off. Like, this Elex stream was just, I had a block of time that I had set aside today for after my meetings because I wanted to have this stream to talk with you guys before the next stream. So I had 2 streams scheduled for today to get access to you guys to talk about some of the things we talked about here and to have some laughs. And I'm glad I did it because those of you who showed up with questions and challenges, we had some really, really powerful conversations. At least I hope they were powerful for me. I don't want to speak for you or, arrogantly believe that I created a positive experience for you, but I hope that I did. What's up, sexy? What up, sexy man? Thanks for the chats tonight. I hope you have a pleasant one. Oh, man, I'm having the time of my life out here, dude. I got to hang out with, every time I get to hang out with one of the guys I consider my brothers. So you guys hear me talk about Tony. You guys hear me talk about Patrick. You guys hear me talk about my actual blood-related brothers, Steve and David. Like, when I get to hang with these people, that's heaven, man. When you get to spend time with good-ass fucking humans, that shit. And I got to spend probably 3 hours with Tony today, which was, was scheduled, but damn it, we had a ball. Got a workout in, had lunch, and just got to talk about a lot of the shit that's going on in the world and the stuff we're up to in business. And he just got a business fully funded. I have a business that just got fully funded after, some investors meetings, another business that's getting funded. And we just funding and killing out here. It's, I say that jokingly, but I told him, I don't want to say this because it's going to be on my next podcast. I'm going to save that one because what I'm about to say, when you hear it on the podcast, it should choke you up a little bit. I'm not going to say it here because it'll lose some of the power. You guys are going to love the podcast, Tony. And we recorded a podcast during this workout, lunch, hangout. We are very much about not wasting time. Like, we were able to, in 3 hours, work out, eat, hang out, and record a podcast all in the mix. Very efficient young men are we. Jolly says, what the fuck is a Vectrex? Jolly! The Vectrex, baby! Brought to you by GCE 1982! You was born in 1982, wasn't you? I probably wasn't old enough to give a fuck about the Vectrex. I was on Earth at that point, but I was probably still sucking on titties, if I had to guess. But I guess I'm still doing that now, so that's not a good reference. I got to work on my phrases. But the Vectrex, 1982, baby. Let's try that again. Can we cut? Sucking on titties. That's going in the blooper reel. That's going in the blooper reels. He's still sucking on titties. Oh my God. He says, oh shit, it's a mobile ass arcade. Not only that, Jolly, it's a vector based arcade, so no pixels, no polygons, just sexy straight line graphics. Oh, it's delicious, man. Oh, I love that Vectrex. Get it. See it? Do you see it playing the game? It's playing Mindstorm right now. Look at that. Now, it's wrong because it has the overlay for Berserk on it, and the game that's being played is not the one that the overlay is for, so I need to change that. And in fact, I had Berserk playing, but the game wouldn't keep playing. Like, for whatever reason, Mindstorm... And by the way, this is 1982. That game is on the console. It's programmed into it. So when you get the console home, there's actually already a game that you can play on it. That's how they used to treat us back in 82. Now you got to pay for controllers. Used to come with games. Remember that? When shit came with games? Sucking on titties TikTok vid. Yep. I'm sure that'll get them closer to hating me as much as they do. Ursula says, cannot wait to the next podcast. Whoop. Yep. All right, gang. I'm going to dip out. I'll be back in about 20 minutes. I love you guys. We are stronger than I. See you in a minute.